I am probably going to be at this restaurant tomorrow for Maisie's birthday.
Oh, yeah. The Current seafood counter in College Park.
Yeah, man, we eat a lot of seafood at the Current, whether it's a blackened mice sandwich, that fried grouper sandwich that I had an old man tell me is the best fucking sandwich he's ever had. He used that word.
Yeah.
It's really good, man. It's so simple and so perfect. A side of Old Bay fries. You get a lemon wedge on a knife. You know, you get yourself a $7 cocktail, maybe a Northeast casual beer from some of the beers that they have that are only sourced from there. It's a great little spot. It's just so laid back and fun.
Yeah, lobster rolls, peel and eat shrimp, seafood pastas, mussels, clams, all the
I'm
seafood.
I'm not saying this just because they're a client, but everything we've tried there, and Andrea's tried something different every time, whether it's a shrimp po' boy. One time she got some sort of like avocado tower with tuna or something. Like, it was crazy. It's just really, really good. And if you like that style of seafood, you got to check it out.
Yep, a bunch of different northeastern craft beers that you could try.
Yeah, man.
Also, some spirits as well. So they got beer and liquor.
Yeah, well, they got the old school. They got the liquor, and then they got the gun with all the mixers. So you shoot them up a $7 little cocktail, and you're good to go.
It's the Current seafood counter in College Park. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
I hope everybody had a good weekend.
I thought you were going to drop some news on me or something.
No.
You scared me a little bit. I didn't know what you were going to do there.
We've got our beer release coming up June 22nd at Hourglass Brewing in Longwood.
It's a red lager. I like lagers a lot. In fact, I think that we're kind of going through, if you're a craft beerman, I believe lagers are very hip right now.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for this one. It is Get to Work Red Lager, and we're excited about it. It's been a minute since we've gotten together with our friends over at Hourglass, and this is going to be fun.
Yep, the party starts at 5. Me and Dana are going to be out there, and we got Curtis Earth doing some trivia. So get your teams together, and we're going to be giving away some prizes.
It's office-ly based, meaning like office
corporate
space,
business.
The show, The Office, other corporate kind of questions. Think all things businessy.
It's not only our show, so anybody could play.
Sure, and also another thing I'd like to point out is, and we're making it easier for you guys. Like, there's no reason if you want this beer that you won't be able to get it. It's going to be in 4-packs, sold all day, so you don't have to be there at the event. We'd rather you be there with us.
Yeah.
But hey, if you need to just swing through and get your 4-pack because you can't make it, it will be available, so you will not miss out.
We have a guest today, and we didn't make an intro because everybody hates AI now.
Yeah. We're on the great swing back, so we're gonna give AI a break. Oh. I could sing a song if you'd want to.
Hold on.
You want me to sing a song? I could go old school. We can give them a blast.
What if we just play an AI intro and then say it's a real person?
No, they can tell now. They can tell.
Can they tell? I don't think you can tell.
Yeah, you can tell with the compression. You can tell. You can tell. People are starting to reject it.
What if we have?
I got some really nasty voicemails. I got some nasty ones.
What if we have AI write the song and then we just pay
doesn't count.
a human to do the exact same song?
I like that idea.
With the same compression.
So wait, just send any AI tracks to Jackal and then say, hey, just sing this.
Yeah. But then put it in the AI compression so it sounds like AI, but it's a real human.
No, they're over it. They hate it. They absolutely hate it.
Chris Crespo's here.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hold on, I'll give you a good blast there. There we go.
Nice, that sounds good.
We'll go old school. Yeah, I don't know how I got that thing working again, but it's back, baby.
Awesome.
The Cinema Crespediso podcast.
Heck yeah.
So, Chris, it's summertime, and is it still a thing for summer movies to come out? Is that a...
I don't know about that.
I don't know for sure.
But I'm hearing nothing but people complain about, like, cinema is dead. I don't know why I'm getting that ramped up now, but the last couple weeks, people are being like, we released a movie and nobody's coming.
Yes, I can tell you. It is still the summer movie season. It typically starts first weekend of May and then runs to like the last weekend of July.
Yep.
And that's when like the movies, big dumb action movies, sci-fi movies, stuff like that are expected to make a lot of money and not necessarily be like awards type movies. That's when they come out.
You know what I miss? I miss an Expendables. And I've never seen one of those movies. But just it's comforting
Well, then
knowing.
why do you miss it?
It's just comforting knowing they're around. I
know.
like a big dumb movie where they're like, and we put everybody strong and dumb in it.
So
I'm like, oh, that's great.
They still make them, man. They still make them. The Beekeeper came out earlier this year. That might be on streaming now.
Beekeeper.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Is that got Julia Louis-Dreyfus in it? And she's fighting a death bird?
Death Bird. Oh, that's coming out soon. I can't wait. I can't wait to see that movie.
Tuesday? No,
Yeah,
it's already-
Tuesday.
It's already out. I saw it. It's horrible.
You saw it.
Chris.
I know.
Yeah,
God-awful.
You saw it at the film
The
festival.
second part's coming. Tuesday 2's coming out.
Tuesday 2. Tuesday.
TWO's Day.
There's two birds now.
Oh, that wasn't the release of it.
No, that was the part of the festival run. It's coming out in theaters
This
in a
movie's
few
from,
weeks.
It's from
Oh,
2023.
my God.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot more Tuesday in your life, buddy.
Yeah,
Wait until people see it.
It's going to be out there soon. It's going to be on HBO
Tom
eventually.
hates it. Tom says the worst thing he's ever seen.
I know. I heard that whole thing.
We laughed at it.
You made me want to watch it. Everything you said about it, I was like, this sounds bananas.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see
See you
this
next
thing.
Tuesday.
Yeah, I can't wait.
There you go.
No, I'll tell you what's happening. So, strikes last year. There was like 6 months worth of strikes between the writers and the actors. So that screwed up all the production schedules. Way less
They
things
should
were
have just
made.
powered through with bad actors and see what we get.
Oh, scab actors.
yeah,
Scab-
just roll it. I bet it'd be more interesting than all this garbage we have now.
They should have done scab actors and used deepfake AI to put like Johnny Depp's face on the scab actor. And be like, we don't need you anymore.
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson as Garfield.
Yeah, that's the future. That's the future.
Yeah, I like that.
So there's like less product, literally, for theaters right now, right? So what happens is like people get used to going to the movies, and not everyone goes to every movie, obviously. And most people, the average American, goes to like maybe 2 to 4 movies a year in the theater and tops. That's on average.
I'm pulling that average way down.
Well, I'm pulling it up, so people we balance each other out in a way.
Dude. You kill it.
I try. I got that Regal Club where it's like $23 a month. So if I go like 3 times, then it pays for itself. It's pretty awesome.
Nice.
But there's less movies, so people are less in the habit this year of going. There's just less things that they're interested in. Furiosa underperformed. That was the Mad Max prequel, and people have lots of different reasons why they think
Suspicioso is the movie.
Suspicioso the sequel.
Suspicioso the movie.
So Furiosa it's a series, right?
It's part of the Mad Max series.
You know what the best part of that movie is? There will be, in like 9 months, there will be a lot of Furiosas being born. It's going to happen.
Well, maybe not, because movies are making...
No, it's just the name sounds good. It rolls off the tongue.
It is a fun name.
Yeah.
It's a cool name.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of Furiosas.
This is the 5th Mad Max movie, but the first 4 they're not really connected to each other story-wise. It's just like the same character going through different things. And this is the first one that's like directly tied to another one. Fury Road made a decent amount of money, but also won like 6 Oscars, which surprised people. So it's like a big critical hit in that way, and it made a lot of money on streaming and home video and stuff like that. So they thought, hey, smart idea to just do a prequel and keep going in this universe and keep with this vibe, and people did not respond the same way at all, even though it is a very good movie. It's different from the last one, but it's very, very good. I really enjoyed it. It's got great reviews, great word of mouth, so it's making some money, but it's overall flopping. It's flopping pretty hard. And also, what was the other one that came out that flopped?
And why do you think that is? Because you said it's a good movie.
It's a good movie, but it's a few things. I don't think the marketing was very good. I remember the Fury Road marketing had people being like, wow, this looks incredible. And then
everybody in the chat room agreeing with you and saying that their opinion and younger people's opinions are that it's an excellent movie.
It's excellent. It's fun. And in theaters, it's great.
Yeah, it's if you wanted a sequel and you got this is an awesome movie.
Yeah, so I think the marketing screwed up because it really wasn't that good. I saw that even when I was watching the trailer, I was like, maybe this movie, I had to lower my expectations a bit.
Who's the commercial guy in here? Me. I saw one commercial.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, see, where's
I'm the guy with commercials, and I only got one.
So they're not then marketing to they should be, you think, marketing to people like you and our age bracket. It's Mad Max. I think it's been around for 50 years.
Not even on sports. I'm watching baseball like at the end of the night. You're going to throw a couple there.
I know, right?
Sports guys.
I only saw
sports
trailers.
Guys don't like muscle cars flying through the desert.
That's their thing, right?
Yeah.
I only saw like trailers at the movies, so they're like obviously marketing to people already going to the movies. But how do you get people? I started seeing stuff on TikTok in the weeks leading up to it, but not that much.
I wonder if they were just cautious, maybe, if they were because of everything.
Maybe they're trying to, like, we can't spend that much money because we don't think it's going to make that much money. That's very possible.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, it's like getting back, like the world after that, like going back to COVID, even though for us, we're back in it and everything's normal. You're right. It's like turning a cruise ship for those guys.
Yeah, and when it's a $190 million cruise ship, I think it turns slow.
And do you think also a result of there being just too much things to consume also plays into it?
There's always that issue.
Like, it seems like I have 5 different long series shows that I want to watch that I haven't got to yet. And then there's, handfuls of movies that look interesting. There's just so much that it's like you can't consume it all.
I finally finished the second season of Invincible yesterday.
Oh, did you? I need to start it still. That's how behind I am.
See,
Invincible's so good. I love that show.
It's awesome. I thought season 2 was about as good as you can get.
Oh,
man. I was so happy with that. Like, it's been a minute since I've ended a season. Plus, I'm not that guy, but I ended this one. They're doing it just like the comic books, and it is so violent, and that show just gets you.
That show's crazy.
Just when you think emotionally they got you, and you're like, no, they'll flip another thing in there and tug on your heartstrings a little bit.
It's telling a good story. It's using so many tropes and conventions to tell an actually, like, touching, like, emotional good story. Yeah, I need to watch that second season.
And I even give it a pass when they use multiple dimensions. I'm okay with it. So,
they're allowed to do it.
Yeah.
So
that is an issue. Too much stuff. I mean, there's so much stuff.
And so, Chris, I actually did some research about some upcoming movies. Some movies that are out now and some things that I saw. We'll just run through a few, and then we can talk about, like, what you're excited about coming up.
Absolutely.
So I've been seeing this on social media, and the marketing of it is like best shark movie since Jaws.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
That's a bold statement.
And I like a good shark movie. There's
I grew up on shark movies.
Yeah. What was that?
I like shark movies.
My friends like shark movies.
Sometimes we get together and watch a few shark movies.
That guy hasn't said anything ridiculous lately. But it's been,
he's kept it non-controversial outside of, like, basic politics.
Bring him back a little bit.
You can't be voted out. He's like, this is awesome.
He's there for life. He's like, I'm going to be chill.
I'm going to fly this flag upside down.
So,
help! Help our country!
So it's called Under Paris.
Under Paris.
And
it's on Netflix. French film.
So, okay. Well, I didn't know. So I went and looked at the trailer, and then I'm like,
what the heck is this comedy goof?
No, foreign.
I'm like, I like my sharks speaking
American.
English.
Goddamn beret wearing shark.
I like great American sharks.
And so it's a French movie, so it is subtitled.
I want to bite your legs.
But there is also a dub version you can watch on Netflix. An English dub.
And then, of course,
Sacre bleu! Look at that shark!
The shark is in the canals of Paris.
In the Seine River.
And then
it smells like poop in there.
And they're about to do their big triathlon.
So it's a turd
It's so funny. They're about to do a triathlon.
Dude, it's a turd shark. It's swimming in the turd water.
It is turd water, too. The water's brown and gross.
Turd shark.
Yeah.
I'll watch a damn turd massacre shark movie.
It's so funny.
And, of course, it looks like a team of people have to try to stop it before the big French triathlon goes off. But spoiler alert, it goes off.
It better go off. Are you kidding me?
It's in the trailer. And then they're all swimming in there, and sharks go crazy.
They can't tease that and not have a shark eat triathlon.
Sharks gone crazy. Is that the name? Is that what it translates to?
It should be. It should have been called that. It is Sharks Go Crazy.
And then I'm like, I can't read this for an hour and a half. God damn it. All right, let's move on.
It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous movie.
Would you give it a try? You give it a try until I'll finish it later. I'm getting decision fatigue.
So next movie I saw out, which is a big, I think Pixar, Inside Out 2.
Yeah, that's gonna be one. That's hopefully that's one of the few
right
ones.
Side in.
They fixed it. They figured it out.
This time we're right side in.
It's one of the 3 movies left for the quote summer season. Like typically there would be a movie a week, but they just don't have the movies this year. So this is one of 3 movies left that theater exhibitors are hoping will make good money and bring people back to the movie theater.
All right.
I'm over Pixar movies.
Over?
Yeah, I'm over it.
It's possible.
I'm over them. I'm over them.
It's possible.
I think with that last one, with the baklava making little Middle Eastern fireman, Elemental. Was that a Pixar?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
And that one, like,
it was great.
It
was a great movie.
It wasn't a runaway hit, though.
It was great.
It made money. But
I watched it. I'm like, I think I'm done with these. I think I'm done with them.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people may be done with them, actually, because it hasn't made as much money, as much of an impact as 10 years ago Pixar
I
movies.
find my old eyes like a squiggy squaggy animation. I like an old squiggy squaggy.
You like old Steamboat Willie.
I've been watching Invincible. I'm like, this is more my speed.
Oh, yeah, that's like the Hanna-Barbera style. The characters are completely still, and only their mouths are moving for scenes. Yeah, it's so funny.
And, along the same lines, Despicable Me 4
That's the second one that they're hoping. Those two they're hoping will bring out families. The four quadrant is what they call those kind of movies.
Do? Is Gru fully good now, or is he still bad? Because if you want to get me back in, turn him bad again. He kills one of the kids.
I think he's like me. I think he's still kind of bad.
He wants to be bad,
but he can't. And now he's dating. He's got a girlfriend. He's got to get fat.
And he's got a baby in this one. He's got a baby Gru.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to love the real baby Gru more than his
adopted kids.
Oh,
there you go.
That's going to be that. Is that what they're going to handle?
I guess so.
And then the little one with the beanie is going to be sad and like, you love the baby more than me, and he's like, that is not right. Is he French? I don't know.
He's kind of French coded, right? A little bit. Yeah, European coded.
I will tell you, my exercise has fallen off quite a bit since this thing.
Okay.
And if I get back to old time, I will have the body of Gru.
You'll be Gru shaped
because my legs are
skinny legs.
I'm skinnier than ever. I have 0% body fat in my legs. But
I love my Gru's body shape. It's my favorite body shape.
I will have the straight up Gru
big
body.
Sweater on the top, tiny little sticks.
His knees. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that you made the chat room so happy. They want a fat Gru, Tom. Big fat Gru.
Hey, I'm dressing you like a minion.
Oh, no.
I already got the overalls.
I saw this, and again, I never look at what upcoming movies until Chris it's
look at
once
me
a month.
Look at me like I'm your Kevin.
So I saw a suspense movie called The Watchers.
That just came out this week. I'm going to see that this afternoon. I got my tickets.
I think somebody mentioned it in our chat room. The Watchers.
The Watchers.
And it's a psychological thriller. And then all of a sudden, I was reading who directed it, and it's M. Night Shyamalan's daughter.
Yes.
Oh my God, Kim Night Shyamalan,
daughter Shyamalan. And I'm like,
Shyamalan.
I'm like, his daughter's already old enough to direct a feature movie.
Yeah.
Like,
she's probably like 25 or something.
I'm like,
older
wow.
Shyamalan.
Yeah.
And so I guess just by her
The
last
chat room
name,
hated it.
Oh, really?
Hated it.
Ooh, I can't wait. I love when people hate movies.
So it looks like, it's really like,
From the director.
Yeah.
Kim Night Shyamalan.
It looks like an M. Night Shyamalan movie. Because,
it does.
It's
like a mystery of some
sort.
sort.
What's his name? Lady in the Water.
Well, it's basically like there's some people in some sort of room, and there's like a two-way mirror, and the people
and they're like in a forest.
Yeah, they're in a forest. They're in a forest, and there's a mirror, and then they're like, "What?" And they're like, "What's those sounds?" They're like, "There's someone watching us."
They're watching us. They're like, just stand there, let them watch you. Yeah.
What do you mean? Do.
It's like weird, like bug noises or something. Like alien bug noises.
Who are the watchers? Are the bugs?
That's the question.
Like
who are the watchers?
Yeah, it's like it's like some sort of bugman.
Some sort of
I don't want to think too
alien
much.
monster. I don't know.
I don't want to think too much.
It does.
Two-way mirror.
Yeah, it's like a weird room, like they took a shipping container and turned it into a living room with a two-way mirror on one side.
Just so you know, behind this mirror are a bunch of bugs. And they're watching you.
Yeah, it looks ridiculous.
The bugs have been watching you the whole time.
There's another.
Sounds like Joe's apartment.
Yeah, if they were talking cockroaches in this, I would be so pleased.
Yeah, that'd be very much the same.
Shyamalan himself also has a movie coming out.
Competing against his daughter?
I know, is that crazy? We got dueling Shyamalans.
What's more impressive? LeBron James playing basketball with his son, or the Shyamalans doing movies that compete against each other? What's more? Discuss.
Well,
what's more What is?
They're both nepotism, right? Because LeBron James'
no
sons.
LeBron, no Brony, no Shyamalan, no Shyamalan.
There's no way anybody funds this movie if her last name isn't Shyamalan.
So
right?
I guess it's who gets more money out of the deal. Did she get more money, or is Brony getting more money?
That's good. Yeah.
Whoever's getting paid the best out of their nepotism.
I think it's easier for her to succeed though because. Like, it's less physical. She can use her mind.
Also,
well, true. Well, still got to wake up early, though, like 5 a.m.
True.
Daddy Shyamalan can help her. Like, he can basically...
Papa Sham.
Like,
Papa Sham.
Because he's the executive producer.
I love that wrestler, Papa Shyamalan.
Papa Shyamalan.
So, like, she's directing it, but he's standing back, and
he's
she makes...
Not bad.
He was producing it, so he did, like, help her produce the movie while she directed it.
And then he's like, wait, stop. Do you want a secret?
Yeah.
They were in the village. Make it all
the villagers and the natures.
Do you want the secret? The bugs they've been watching the whole time. And she's like, "Oh, I never thought about that."
But that's how. You do something stupid at the end.
I love you, Daddy. Don't tell people I did that for you.
That's the thing with Shyamalan. So even if you don't like his movies, he still knows how to make a movie, the logistics of it, how to put a scene together. Even in his like worst movies, he has moments that are like exciting and fun. So like that's a valuable resource to have. Your dad is like this very successful filmmaker who's helping you out. Meanwhile, Brony, he's got? I guess he can do shoot-arounds with his dad, but he gets
the coaching of your dad.
He gets the upbringing, so he's getting it for. I mean, they both get the coaching.
I think you get more comparison. Plus, it's good that she's a lady. Mm-hmm. I feel like that mixes it up.
Oh yeah, the wokeism. Disney loves that stuff.
Yeah, they do.
They'll throw money at it.
So speaking of Daddy Shyamalan, his new movie is called Trap.
Yeah,
and I watched that trailer, and I will tell you, watching both trailers. The Watchers looks more interesting than the Trap.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah,
it is more.
So, do you want me to explain the Trap?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so the Trap, and this is all in the trailer.
This is all in the trailer.
Yeah. I'm just watching.
I was surprised how much they told you in the trailer. So obviously, there's more going on.
Is the Trap of me versus a bag of potato chips? Eating the entire. I'll eat the whole bag.
So the trailer is a dad is taking his daughter,
and it's Josh Hartnett.
Are you trying to get me? Is this a daddy-daughter?
Yeah. It's a daddy-daughter. So dad's taking his daughter to the equivalent of like a Taylor Swift concert, right?
Yeah.
And it's a fictional pop artist that's supposed to be like Taylor Swift. So he gets the tickets, and the daughter's all excited.
Yeah.
And there's tons of people in this huge arena, and everybody's in there, and the dad goes and gets popcorn or like whatever, and talks to the like some person behind the merch booth, and then of course the person behind the merch booth knows way too much information about what's going on.
Is he a spooky Mogwai seller or something? He's like, you want to buy a T-shirt? How about this magical one?
I don't need to poke holes into M. Night Shyamalan's script here, but the person that works at the merch booth of the arena knows nothing. Barely knows math. I'm just telling you that person is not informed by anybody higher-ups about what's going on.
We got there 30 minutes before they opened the gate.
And especially not the police, because apparently the police have now surrounded the entire stadium because they're trying to catch the butcher.
Yeah,
which is
the butcher.
Yeah.
Which is
the butcher the singer?
Which is a serial killer
on the loose.
On the loose, and they know the butcher's at the arena.
He's a big Taylor Swift fan. Be aware, the butcher is in here. So we're locking the doors, and we're going to let him kill some of you so we can find him.
And then guess what? In the trailer, and I'm not spoiling anything.
In the trailer,
that they insinuate heavily that the dad's the butcher.
They're coming for him.
Because literally,
sir, you're the butcher.
Yeah, literally, when the merch guy tells the dad about the police,
hey, they're coming to get you. You're the butcher, right?
The dad's face turns red into the butcher's face, or something. You know what I'm saying? It like freezes, and he's like, "Oh, I'm the butcher."
He also pulls up his phone and like pulls up a live stream of someone locked in his basement. So and it's like, oh no, they're coming for me.
So the dad doesn't know that he's the butcher, and he wakes up at the concert.
No.
Oh, the twist. Knows. This is the twist.
The twist. But that's the twist, right? Is that he didn't know he was the butcher?
Because as I'm watching that trailer the first time, halfway through the trailer, I'm thinking, and the twist is going to be he's the butcher.
Yeah.
And then they're like, no, he is it. that's what the movie is. Like he is trapped at this concert and he has to find a way to get out. I'm like that's kind of crazy.
The chat room seems to think
guess what?
The daughter is the butcher, and this is a Tom scenario where the dad is like got to figure out what he's got to do to like he
to protect his daughter.
That's
the butcher.
a Shyamalan move right there.
That's the Shyamalan I know.
That's a good Shyamalan
where they make the dad go like, I'll just let her kill. I love my butcher. I love you so much, butcher.
By the way, I'll watch that movie.
I'll do anything for you,
my
butcher.
sons are
I'll help you, butcher. I'll be the butcher's sidekick.
No, I'm too weak for that. I'll help you clean up the blood.
I'm not butchering anybody. But you'll do some mopping.
Yeah. And I'll drive you away from the police, but I can't do much else. Anyway, so they gave away a lot in the trailer, which probably leads me to believe that there's something
more.
else.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because
if they really wanted to nail it, you put Taylor Swift to do a cameo in there.
Make her the pop singer,
Yeah, just have her like selling a T-shirt,
or just in there somewhere. She could be the merch guy.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
So another movie that I saw come out that is almost self-funded a little bit is the Kevin Costner Horizon cowboy movie.
Yes, it is. He said he spent $30 million so far.
$38 million.
Woo, baby!
Of his own money.
That's
wow.
A lot and it's like it is really tanking hard, right?
The reviews have not been kind. Maybe they have been kind, and the movie really stinks.
What's it about?
It's about the Old West. Just the expansion.
I love
Manifest Destiny.
I love a good Old West tale. How do you get that wrong? You just shoot him up, bad guy?
I think the initial reviews, it was at the Cannes Film Festivals where it debuted. I think the initial reviews are pretty lukewarm, kind of mixed, and they're like, it's a little boring, it's a little like full of itself, maybe a little self-important, that type of thing. So I'm gonna go see it. And he's made 2 of them so far already. And one's coming out in July, and then one's coming out in August, like back to back. And then he has plans, or he's in production on a 3rd one, and he wants to make a 4th one to complete the whole thing. Like 2.5 hour movies, I think, each.
I think there could be a possibility of, Kevin Costner has been...
Is he going crazy?
Well, he's been rich and famous...
He's been around for a long time.
For 40
years, yeah.
So he is, I bet, lost a little bit of touch with
what people
normal
want,
society.
I want to see him mad. I only see him calm and just like normal.
He does seem, for that level of celebrity, still maybe pretty grounded. Like when he does interviews, he doesn't come across as too cuckoo. He just seems like he's kind of a weird actor guy, but all actors are weird, right? He's not like a lot of times when these guys get older and their star fades and stuff and they're not making as much money. Maybe they do, they lash out and get a little crazy. Maybe it helps that Yellowstone gives them continued success and more money. And I don't know what's going on with him, but he doesn't seem like on the worst end of the celebrity spectrum.
Well, it's not a good sign that he's putting $38 million of his own money.
Because no one wanted to make it. Yeah, sure.
Because that means that other people around them,
it's a bad idea.
Didn't go start like his investors are like, I don't know about this.
Sure.
And then he's like, well, I want to make it, get it done. So he's putting his own money. So that means that he's going to pushing this thing.
Sometimes though, when people do that, then they put out a movie that people really like, and it's a success. So it's hit or miss. Not everyone doesn't have that crystal ball where they're like, oh, this is obviously gonna bomb, and then it's a huge hit.
And it's a 4-part series. So
is it like really love the West expansion to finish that?
He loves westerns, man. He loves cowboy movies.
Is it 4 hour-and-a-half movies?
I think hour and a half, like 2 hours. Yeah, they're feature-length films with like big movie budgets.
Is he gonna throw some Yellowstone boobies in there? If he puts the little boobies in there,
they're probably making them R-rated because he's like trying to tell like a more truthful, updated version of what that kind of
always have the
life
cowboys
like.
Going upstairs to the old bathhouse.
always going.
You got to put one of
the
those
rooms are always upstairs. Yeah.
Pardon me, ma'am, as I put my hat on my jump.
So speaking of an older guy, kind of doing a movie that people beloved, Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
4 is coming to Eddie Murphy.
This trailer. Did you watch it?
I was reading the synopsis, and they're like 40 years after the original. I'm like, 40 years?
I thought it was
1984.
I'm like, oh my God.
When I watched the trailer, I thought it was like a skit.
Like an SNL skit?
Not like an SNL. I thought maybe it was like a commercial or something.
Oh, sure,
like they were doing
batteries.
And then, no, it's a real thing.
How old was Eddie Murphy in the original?
23 22.
Okay.
Young 20s.
23.
Okay.
He was very
Okay.
young.
Yeah.
He was a baby.
Yeah, he was. I mean, fresh off of SNL.
Yeah, still doing this now, I
Yes.
think. Yeah, it was Trading Places and then Beverly Hills Cop, back-to-back years, 83, 84, both huge hits. No, and 48 Hours is in there as well. Those three movies all came out
Dude, I
back
forgot about
in
48
consecutive
Hours.
years, and they were all huge hits. And he was the biggest star in the world by the age of like 24, 25.
Yeah, by the way, I mean, I bet he is real nuts.
Yeah, he must be.
Like he is, because I mean, he became the biggest star in the world
for a
at 22,
while. Yeah.
and then really has kind of been a A-list big star ever since.
Even having sat out forever, making bad movies
Yeah,
and
you
stay out forever, people still love him.
Eddie Murphy is gigantic.
Yeah.
Like he can't go anywhere. You can't live anywhere. Similarity of a normal life worldwide. Like he's recognizable because of Beverly Hills Cop is.
That's all we had.
Yeah,
biggest movie
so
of all
many
time.
movies worldwide.
I've seen that movie. I mean, me and my buddy Dave watched Beverly Hills Cop. I've probably seen it 200 times.
I love it. It's so much fun.
Is it?
And the second one too.
Is there any way possible this could be good?
No.
No. Okay.
The trailer looks terrible.
No, yeah, it looks rough, and they've been trying to do something Beverly Hills Cop for a while. There was a minute where there was an Amazon. They actually did a pilot. There was an Amazon TV show they were going to do that was about his son, and I think it was man, I forgot the actor. I think the dude from Tropic Thunder was in it. He was playing the son, and Eddie Murphy was like the commissioner or something. So he had a small role, but as his boss or whatever.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And
that was like maybe 10 years
they're
ago.
trying to do it where he is no longer a cop, but he gets pulled in one last time or
one more
something,
job. Yeah.
And then he's up to his old look, this is the way I do things. I just ask for permission later, and people are like, wow, I've missed the way you get things done.
I miss old copping.
You know what I mean? He's in the 18-wheeler, and he's like, we'll figure it out later. Eddie Murphy voice and everything.
And then
that's good.
And then they even bring back like the older actors that are still alive from the first movie,
like
from the
the
first
old
go around.
man, like
the old man, John Ashton, who was one of the cops, one of the Beverly Hills cops that he was like
isn't
helping.
he in Squidbillies or something? He sounds just like the cop on Squidbillies.
Voice acting's perfect for old men. You don't
what about Bad Boys? Have you seen Bad Boys?
I saw Bad Boys yesterday. Bad Boys.
How was that?
It was fun trash. It's not a good movie, but I had a good time with it. I enjoyed it more than the third one that came out a few years ago. It was dumb.
The third one was the one with the bodies all on the freeway.
No,
right?
that's the second one.
Oh, that's the second one?
That's the good one. Bad Boys 2 is a stone cold American classic of the 21st century.
True
I love
blood
that
Patriot movie right
it's
there.
It's so wild. It's
Put that in the halls
one of the most
of Congress.
absurd films ever made. It has two endings. Oh, it's so good. This one, it's fun. I had a good time. It's got a lot of dumb stuff in it. I like seeing Martin Lawrence and Will Smith back together.
I do too, but I can't. Martin doesn't have that Illuminati link up that Will does, and Will looks like a perfect Will.
He still looks great.
And Martin looks like.
He looks like
He looks like he's been eating.
He melted a little bit.
I didn't want to say it.
I'll tell you what,
Marty melted.
They went ahead and worked that into the plot. His character is now out of shape and having health issues and wants to keep eating Skittles and hot dogs and
Let's
stuff.
put your health issues into the film. That'll make it better.
Pretty much. It's pretty wild. It's crazy.
I have diabetes.
I can't believe that they're friends at all. You know what I'm saying? Will Smith is crazy.
Will Smith has ruined himself for me. I look at him now,
nuts.
and I'm like, you're nuts, man.
And I'm like, and you're faking all this, and that charming personality in the movies is all fake.
Well,
and you don't have your
that,
crazy
but
and nut job.
The character of Michael Lowry is not necessarily that pleasant of a character. He's a jerk. He curses all the time.
Yeah.
He's very abusive to Martin Lawrence's character. It kind of is a good role for him to use as his comeback movie from The Slap. And a $56 million opening weekend for this R-rated movie, it's the biggest R-rated opening since Oppenheimer, shows that a lot of people out there don't care about The Slap. They're happy that Will Smith is back. His people have been reaching out behind the scenes for the first time in 2 years, studios, and to see what kind of projects are out there and to pitch him on stuff.
I know exactly when he lost me.
What?
Hancock. He lost me at Hancock, man. When you cheated on your wife or your superhero
With the Charlie
and I was
Theron,
like, I could never. I was like, oh, you son of a bitch.
That's a wild movie, man.
Hancock?
I can't believe they made that movie. It's
Hancock
crazy.
that was a crazy ass movie.
It's a weird, interesting movie for sure. maybe a little ahead of its time in terms of like superhero stuff.
Absolutely.
So speaking of remakes, they're coming out with it's not even a Twister 2, it's just called Twisters.
Oh, genius title.
It's Twister.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love the title. It's so funny.
It makes me want to put the T word in front of it.
Have you guys heard, real quick, I'm sorry, we'll talk about Twisters. Have you heard this story about how Aliens got its name?
No.
The sequel to Alien. This is apocryphal, but it's also from James. I don't know, take it for a grain of salt. James Cameron is in the room to pitch the Alien sequel to the producers, and he has a whiteboard or a chalkboard, and he writes the word alien on it, and they look at him, they go, okay. And then he adds an S to the end of it, and they're like, and then he turns into a dollar sign. And they're like, yes, we're making Aliens. That's how he got the title and got the pitch done for Aliens.
He just put a dollar sign.
He put a dollar sign on the end as the
That's
S.
what Tom does. He does that all of our clients' names.
So now whenever there's a sequel, I love if they're at an S at the end. I imagine in the pitch meeting they're like Twisters, and then a dollar sign at the end of it, and they're like, genius. Get that young man from Top Gun in this movie.
I remember when the best theme park technology we had was the Twister ride at Universal, where they hung a cow from a string and then they blew some smoke at it, and we were like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, a stiff paper mache cow.
Like it blew our. This is pre-pandemic. This is like 20 years before the pandemic. We're at the Twister ride. We're like, rides will never get better than this. Well, what'd you do on the ride? You stand
on a platform
while a cow on a string flies around. They blow smoke at the cow,
and you see a little funnel cloud in the middle.
I loved it though. Oh my god! I got out of that. I was like, oh my god! It's like being in a real Twister. It was like being in a real Twister.
It's like living in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I miss Bill Paxton.
I do too.
So do I, man.
I do too. The cancer got him, right?
No, a heart attack during a surgery.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And didn't he, like, there's one thing I know. I think it was the last thing my dad said as he was dying. My dad was like, did you know he and Helen Hunt hate each other? And then he died. My dad died.
And
they hated each other more than anything, right?
Yes, they did not get along. And then on that Twister ride, they had to shoot segments with the two of them, and they obviously were not even there the same day.
No.
When, like, one of them throws to the other one, and they're like, she's in a different room.
And I look at her, and I'm like, you'll always love Paul Reiser, won't you? From Mad About You.
Mad About You. Yeah,
That's how old I am.
You know what always got me about the original Twister is that they were risking their life to get the robots in the Twister.
Into the Twister.
Yeah. And then you like
just to measure something too.
So they jump out. He jumps out of his truck. He sends his truck. I was like, they're only holding once the truck. And then of course the garbage can pops open and the robots go in the Twister, and then they have to tie their belt to the pipes, and then they're flying upside down, and then all this.
Is that Philip Seymour Hoffman?
Yes, it is. It is Philip Seymour.
Yeah.
And he's playing the same character he played in Boogie Nights, right?
Yeah.
The exact same guy.
Yeah, it looks exactly the same.
Same guy, and in Hunger Games. It's all the same character.
Like, get your hand off my leg.
Like you
We're in the middle of a storm. No, I don't want to have sex with you.
You've almost died multiple times, and then they're like, "We got some important information about the tornado
from the ping pong balls."
And then you're like, "Okay."
Philip Seymour Hoffman's ping pong balls got us the data.
And I'm like, what is that going to do? Like you got it didn't tell you how it's going to stop Twisters in the future, or like we got some important information.
There was hope. We got the data.
They're fast, real fast. What data do you get? Like just
crazy.
a mile an hour of the winds? Who cares?
If you put ping pong balls into a Twister, it'll scatter them good. There. Is that what you wanted to know?
That's what they wanted to learn.
It's scattered good.
It didn't stop anything, save any lives.
No.
You just got some data. Anyway,
they destroy property and put themselves in danger.
So what could Twisters 2 be about?
It looks like it's it's again Storm Chasers, Glenn Powell from Top Gun, and anybody but you. That rom-com that was a surprise hit. He's the chaser guy, And
is it in any way, shape, or form related to the other movie in that like they work for the same society?
I wouldn't be surprised if they find some way to like link them together, Easter egg style. They love doing crap like that.
I don't want to insult Mike from Mike's weather page,
but you're going to. You're going to take a chance.
You don't think Storm Chasers look like Glenn Powell?
No. Well, the Storm Chasers, all you do is you drive to the storm and you sit in your truck.
Oh man!
And then you watch it.
Yeah, and you're like, oh man!
From a safe distance.
Yeah.
So, what's happening here? Like, is there anything?
I see what's happening here.
No, I'm just saying.
Why are you singing that?
Are you like doing anything? Or are you just sitting in your truck watching?
You're being an accidental dickhead. Be careful. You got to be careful.
No, but is there any any purpose, or are you just like, I'm going to sit in this storm in my truck?
Ride it out. Ride it out.
But it's just for your own entertainment.
Wasn't that the tagline?
You're not
the
like,
movie?
Ride it out? Maybe
Twister.
it was.
They were like, Twister. Ride it out.
That might have been. That would be a good,
so you just want to look at it for like the excitement.
I don't know, maybe like sketch it, draw a picture of it as you
You're
watch
putting
it.
yourself in danger for a video and just look at it for
look at it later. Yeah, and you sell it to Weather
And
Channel.
on the
But it's all
video,
for excitement?
And on the video, you yell, "Oh man!"
Like, whoa, wait!
It's just all for excitement and adrenaline. There's no purpose.
I think he says that himself.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
He's told us that he loves it.
Yeah,
He's addicted to it.
You're
It's
not
his
like
thing.
you're not gathering information like the original Twister.
It's their version of going to war. It's like I'm near the danger. It seems like similarly they're trying to do some sort of research. If they can get some sort of device, I think this time it's like nanobots. Actually, you know what I think it is?
Drones, baby drones.
Yeah, little baby drones. I think in the trailer, the scientist lady, she's like, if we can release
That gay
these,
guy with the dildos use ping pong balls.
they're not doing the same thing.
So 35 years later, nothing has changed.
Nothing's changed.
35 years later, Philip Seymour Hoffman's hurricane dildos were found in his storage unit.
I think what they're trying to do is like destroy the tornado from the inside so that it doesn't, so it stops. But I think what then is going to happen is that it makes like mega tornadoes by accident with their technology.
I can write a good movie.
More
Check me out on this.
ending.
Philip Seymour Hoffman's estate sale. They go to his storage unit and they find inside the storage unit all the dildos, the tornado dildos,
all the boogie nights.
And they're like, let's release these into a storm. It'd be really funny, just to scatter dildos everywhere. And the rest of his friends are like, yeah, let's do it. And then that's the movie.
So, Chris, any movies that you're excited about coming up?
I guess the one that's left is at the end of July, Deadpool and Wolverine is going to make a ton of money.
Yeah.
It'll probably be the biggest opening weekend for an R-rated movie, and will probably be the highest-grossing film of the summer, depending on how Inside Out 2 does.
Okay.
It's going to be a big one. The fact that it's R-rated, like the highest-grossing opening weekends for R-rated movies previous to this are Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2.
Gotcha.
So it's like people love these things. They turn out for it. Could it make $800 million worldwide? It's possible. It could be close to $1 billion, which would be crazy.
Prepare yourself for 1 million Wolverine claw going into Deadpool's beehole. Prepare yourself.
Yeah.
It's already happening.
It's going to be meme
and
crazy.
Prepare yourself for the people that are like, already got my tickets online. I'm ready.
The tickets have been on sale for a while. AMC reported that it broke some sort of AMC ticket sales record, advanced ticket sales record, and people still do what they call walk-up business, where they don't buy a ticket ahead of time. They go to the theater and get the ticket there. Apparently, like for Bad Boys that just came out, Ride or Die, they were projecting like a $35 million opening weekend, and it makes 55 because a huge part of that was walk-up business. People who don't bother getting that stuff ahead of time. There are people who still show up to a theater. I've seen this with my eyes. People still show up to a theater and then look at the show times. They're looking like, what are we gonna? Well, that's starting next. What is that? I don't know. Like people still pick movies like that. It's kind of crazy that it feels like we have all the information at our hands, and we can even pick our seat ahead of time, and we'll just figure it out when we get there.
Well, maybe that is more about that process of just going there and figuring it out when you get there.
That's part of the fun.
Is part of the fun.
Sure.
And
I couldn't tell you the last time I just went to the movies and looked and I was like,
I don't think I've ever done that ever.
Wow.
Like I've gone.
You already had a plan at a time. Yeah.
You're too young to do that and too old to not do that.
Yeah, I felt right.
Yeah, that's weird, dude.
Yeah, because
I had to do that.
Because I grew up, there was movie phone.
Sure.
So you call movie phone, or like even in high school,
newspapers too.
Well,
Fandango.
Yeah,
I remember I had buddies that were like, "Hey, I got a Fandango pass. I got a card."
I had the internet in high school, so we could go on the family computer and then see what movies were.
Is that still a thing? You brought up something that is not related to movies, but kind of is. Is there still a family computer?
No.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Everybody has their own personal.
Yeah, everyone has their own hand computer and tablets and stuff. There's the family tablet.
I remember my mom and dad had a rule where I had to keep the door on the room open while it was on the computer. I'm virtually certain you know why, right? But that's why. But evidently, if they were in the kitchen and I'd hear them like doing stuff, I'd chance it. If I I knew my dad was cutting an onion, I'd load up a boob pic. Yeah, if he's in there cutting an onion to make like hamburgers or something, I'd be like, I got 35 seconds to load this picture of a boob while they're in the kitchen.
Oh, speaking of movie ratings, I was making the joke, like we watched as a family Matrix 1, and I didn't realize that it was rated R.
Yeah, it is. I was surprised when you said you showed the kids that. Yeah.
And a lot of people calling in to say you are wrong on Matrix 2. There are no boobies in it.
There isn't?
A lot of people that are like, you hit the nail. We had a lot of Matrix fans in our, I don't know why, but they're all you.
I didn't remember, but that's what it said.
That's what it said. I think I remember there being implied nudity, like you see a naked back, maybe a butt crack, but briefly though. There's a big rave sequence, the underground rave, the infamous underground rave, but no one's really naked in that.
There is, but we got 2 voicemails from people saying there are no boobs.
Well, it's not featured. It's not like
it's in the background.
Yeah, it would go by
that's
so
what I
fast.
looked for when I was a little boy. Always check the background.
In which case, then you should show it to them because that's a part of growing up.
But here's the thing: it's not,
I agree with him on that.
Like the Crystal's reading that the website that breaks everything down for parents or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they're not lying.
Well,
so, I
wonder if it's different cuts.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, and some sort of unrated cut, maybe. I don't know if that exists. Just show them the Matrix movies.
Yeah,
do they like the first one?
Chat room says there's only one way to find out. You have to just load it up. You gotta load it up and let it roll.
It's probably the rave sequence. Like, watch it yourself and see. Like, where's the boob? And
then, it's cave people having a rave orgy.
Yeah,
it is funny that I'm like,
they are. They're cave people.
I'll show them people blowing each other's brains out. One boob.
Like, I can't do it.
And I'm like,
no. Like Andrea walks around with her boobs out all the time, and Maisie's like, put a bra on.
My son's like, this is America. No nudity.
No, it's the most American thing you can do.
Guns and violence only.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, anything else you're excited about this summer?
I think that's it. That's it for summer movies. I don't know if it's coming out this summer, but have you heard of the title Megalopolis? Have you heard of this movie?
No.
It's Francis Ford Coppola, the guy who made the Godfather movies, Apocalypse Now. He's a legendary director. He's also in his 80s and hasn't made a good movie since maybe, I think, The Client was his last movie, or The Rainmaker. He made one of those Grisham movies in the 90s. Yeah, he made one of the better ones, the one with Tom Cruise. And he self-funded this movie by selling his portion of his winery, the Coppola wine. He sold his portion, got like $180 million for it or something, and then used that as collateral to get a $100 million line of credit. And he self-funded his own movie called Megalopolis, which is this big sci-fi mega opus that he's been trying to make for 20, 25, 30 years and can't get the money to make it. Because he has a history of making huge movies that like almost bankrupt people and end up maybe flopping.
That kind of goes back to what Tom's saying, though. It's like,
that's
why
not
do
a good
it?
sign.
Yeah, it's like one of these days I'll sell my paintings that are painted with my own diarrhea. It's a bad idea, dude. No, I'm sticking with it.
No one's gonna want that. No one's gonna want it.
Because guess what? If it sounds awesome and the script's awesome and everything, like, people will invest into it because they want to get rich.
Yeah, but I think people they're scared of what the story, what he's trying to do with the story. And apparently, this is another one that played at the Cannes Film Festival and got like okay reviews, and it's like unwieldy and a little weird.
What is it about?
It's a fictional city called New Rome, and it's about the fall of the city. It's sort of like a Roman Empire allegory type thing, but updated, modernized. Adam Driver is the lead, but if you look at the cast, it's like a ridiculous cast. Plenty of people want to work with him, for sure, as long as they get paid. Anyone will work with him, it's hard for him to get the money, so he put it up himself.
Does that matter as much anymore and I know we got to get out of here, but does that matter that much anymore, the name of the director, or is that sort of falling off?
It depends. Like Christopher Nolan shows that people still turn for a director. His last few movies, like Oppenheimer, like people aren't so excited for the movie about the making of the bomb, but they're excited because Chris Nolan is known for making huge, interesting movies. Steven Spielberg, I think, can still sell a movie on his name. There's like Quentin Tarantino. He's one who for sure people go to his movies just for him and his writing and stuff. So that still exists, and there's still like young directors coming up that can take those spots. It's still an exciting time for right now to be a filmmaker, but pretty soon that'll all be gone, thanks to AI and whatever.
Yeah, we're not allowed to talk about that anymore. Our listeners are rebelling against the AI. They don't even know that we are currently AI right now.
This conversation's not happening.
Well,
I'm at home.
If you want to hear more about movies, it's the Cinema Crespediso podcast. Yes. And Chris, thank you so much.
Thanks,
we love you, buddy.
Appreciate
Thanks for
it very
coming
much.
in here,
Thank you so much.
We appreciate you. Go support his show, and guys, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. from the Orange County Regional History Center. We've got Scotty and Kat here.
Hold on, I got to get my blast.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Get my blast. Yeah, it's working today. All right.
How you guys doing?
Good. I should say, technically, Kat is actually from the City Arts.
Downtown Arts District.
Oh, yeah, okay. I know you weren't. Yeah, I know technically you don't work for the History Center, but
we're adopting her today.
Yeah.
So much misinformation just pouring out of our mouth. That's the fast. Okay, I have to point this out. This is an all-time record.
Yeah.
We have never started a show and gone into misinformation that quickly before.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well,
that's the fastest we've ever messed it up.
It's kind of like when you're on stage in Sanford, you just scream out, "Hello, Sanford!" Even though a lot of people don't even live there.
Yeah. The Weekly's doing it. The Weekly's like, "What's the best Orlando restaurant?" And then they throw all the Sanford restaurants in there.
In my mind, this is a History Center segment so everybody in here as our guest is from the History Center.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. You're putting them under Scotty's umbrella.
Yeah. You're under the segment umbrella, not necessarily working.
That's okay. Yeah,
this is the way I get it. Sorry, Kat.
That's all right. No problem.
But Kat, thank you for being here. Scotty, always a pleasure.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
So I know that Sally's Night's coming up on June 20th, and that's part of every. Is it a third Thursday? Correct.
Third Thursday.
Yeah, it happens to be falling on third Thursday, so June 20th, and this is a national thing that's done through the Smithsonian. We're one of 12 Smithsonian affiliated museums in Florida. I should say only 12. It's a pretty good distinction.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
It celebrates Sally Ride and her historic launch into space on June 18th of I have my notes here. That would be 1983. And she was, for those who don't know, she was the first American woman in space. She was the youngest American to go into space. And she's the only known, the first known person from the LGBT plus community who went into space. So,
that's awesome.
So she's lots to celebrate.
Yeah, definitely.
And you look at, as you look at 1983, year after I was born, right? And it doesn't seem like that long ago, but then I talked to my mother-in-law, and she tells me that, when she was in her 20s, she couldn't have a credit card without getting her husband to sign off on it. It's a weird thing. You're like, what?
Yeah, what?
That happened to you?
For sure.
And then you look at Sally Ride and what she must have gone through to even get the opportunity to go into space is insane. How strong that human was.
Yeah, absolutely.
To celebrate
also,
her
astronauts.
incredible.
I've met a couple of astronauts, and they're real, logical, kind of. I don't want to say cold, but they're not like. They're not like me. Well, I'll say that. How about that? That's a nice way of putting it.
These are people what amazes me is when you see the older ships and they're tin cans, and these people were blasting up into space.
Yeah. Well,
it's
you're
crazy.
super brave. We had the pleasure one time of talking to Colonel Kittinger.
Yeah.
Before he passed. And just you can hear that these people, there's so much bravery.
You know the story of him, that drop that he did, and he was actually...
The duct tape?
The duct tape.
Yeah.
So his hands wouldn't explode.
Yeah. I'm so glad you know that, too. Yeah, it is. We tell that story to people about, what was he doing? He was duct taping his suit so his hands wouldn't explode. And people are like, what?
His hands were swelling because he was so high that, and then what is it? He could have basically pulled the plug, but he wanted to keep going, so he wrapped his suit in duct. I mean, it's nuts.
So our first lady astronaut, right?
American woman.
Woman astronaut. Yeah, I mean that's a huge. I remember how big of a deal this was. I remember being in school. I remember having her picture up. I remember seeing all the different astronauts. I don't know. That's a precious time in my kind of young Floridian life because my mom was an educator. She was a Volusia County school teacher, and I tag along with her in the summers, and I can remember that there was a buzz, there was an excitement around this.
Yep.
And then she passed in the Challenger accident, correct?
No.
Oh.
That
different one.
Yeah,
that's...
okay. I'm sorry. How much misinformation do I have?
I like that. I don't know. Let's find out. Let's keep going.
I'll just keep talking.
You guys go with something that's true, and then you go again with something that's
Let me tell you about history. I'm just going to make it up.
Sally Ride did pass away, but it was cancer that
Gotcha.
did it. Yeah, unfortunately, but during her lifetime, she
The different C word.
she continued
That's
to
also a challenge.
after that, encourage women in science, and she did a lot of important work beyond her, being an astronaut. So this night kind of celebrates that. It celebrates women in STEM. It celebrates women in space and in science. We'll have lots of fun activities that
I wish my daughter would choose that. She's at her STEM camp right now, like for something, I don't know, but I want her to. Okay, we got to get off this whole, she wants to be an artist baker. I'm like, we're not doing that. Didn't you see what happened to Gideon's cookies? You don't need to get into desserts. It's a mad world of crazy people in there. You go
Desserts are
something
controversial
safer,
now.
like an astronaut. It's way safer.
Yeah.
It's just more straight and narrow. It's easier to control.
And this is a free, obviously, that people can go by and experience it for free.
Yeah, because on third Thursday from
Oh, I was so
5
hoping
to
you were
9.
going to say, no, it's a $25 ticket, John.
It's actually VIP starts at £1 charity. So it's a dinner.
He said $500 a plate, you idiot. Good day. And then he finally walks out. That's the last time we see Scotty.
I do want you to hit me over the head with the History Center post, and then do the cartoon thing where my head pops through.
And then we'll just have this sound effect. Boo.
I like more of a did. Oh, sorry.
We can do
Sorry.
that.
So,
Sorry,
yeah,
Kat. I apologize.
That's okay.
We're-
Cat has no idea what's
We're
happening.
very stupid.
Poor Cat.
She's fitting right in.
I'm going
You guys
to-
don't know Kat.
I'm going to
She's-
jump in and
Please,
tell
absolutely.
you that. So Third Thursday is a program of the Downtown Arts District. We've been doing it about 20 years.
Yeah.
So we've reached out a couple times to the History Center, and they always let people in on that night for free. If you don't go that night, it's going to cost you money. But if you go that night, it's free.
Yep.
And then we've got, finally, the city gave us some money to expand Third Thursday. So we were able to shut down Magnolia Avenue, which is
nice.
the first. It's taken me like 7 years to get them to let me close
Congratulations.
that street. And so now we've got we've put a stage out there, so we have live music. We got Jordan Foley playing on
Oh,
it.
dude.
Oh, awesome. We know Jordan Foley.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's our
he's
buddy.
lovely, right?
Yeah, he is so good. His band's so good.
So good. We just got him, but he's
Oh,
still
misinformation. I got one. On the board.
I tried to get
On
them
the board.
I'll sneak two more in.
But we,
Not if I can help it.
we got like 14 artists going to be in tents painting and selling their stuff out there. And then we've got Red Top Productions doing the market at the History Center.
Awesome.
Right? So, and then we've got some art installations. So one of the things about the money we got was every other month we do what we call vacant to vibrant, and it's taking over a vacant storefront down there and putting an art installation in.
Oh,
So
that's
right
awesome.
now across the street in the old Indian place, Urban Turban, we have an upside down Alice in Wonderland installation, which
Very
is really
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
And then on this third Thursday,
So hold on, is that upside down Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah, you do fit in here, Cat.
What is that?
Cat fits in here.
well, everything's upside down, so it's just hanging upside down with the chandeliers, and so the ground is up
you gotta
above,
see
the
it.
sky is down there. You got to see it.
That's
so,
on-
I mean, what is there not to understand? It's upside down Alice in Wonderland, you
Yeah.
idiot.
Imagine if you were just wandering out there,
Yeah.
tweaking out over and then you're like,
Yeah, I'm just enjoying my drug high, and I walk by, I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah, it's true. It's really cool. So it's all lit up. It stays lit up all the time.
That's
So
cool.
at night you can see it. So it's up there until
Yeah.
I think 60 days is our timeline on that. And then on in July we'll open another one. But on June 20th, Creative City Project is open an installation. So they're going to be on the corner of Orange and Pine Street, across from the Old City Arch. Remember the Old City?
Yeah,
Arch?
Yeah,
absolutely.
So where that beautiful mural is, they're
The
putting
unbelievably real.
Yeah.
mural.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, we're getting. It seems like we're having a little art kind of a.
Well, yeah. So the whole
Vibe.
the whole idea was the city gave us some money. The city, the DOP, to create more art and make downtown more vibrant. You know, because they're trying to change, get away from that bar scene thing. So we work with the DOP, we work with United Arts, we work with the City of Orlando. So the City of Orlando put up the money. They gave it to City Arts to give to Creative City Project and to us.
Yep.
And we're doing the two programs. We're doing the Vacant to Vibrant and expanding the third Thursday. So I tried to make some really bright lights and stuff out there, but it's summertime and I can't make my really cool lights go. But each month we're going to try to do something different to get people to keep coming out.
And also part of that has been we've been able to expand because of the funding. Our third Thursday was 5 to 8, and which normally we would close at 5 and free, but now we're 5 to 9, so open a little bit later. But things start as early as 4:30, right?
Yeah. So that was one of the caveats, and then the summertime it's a little rough. So the street closes down at 2. The street thing starts at 4:30. We're open, so we're doing a little happy hour.
Okay.
4:30 to 6 happy hour, and we've got some bar partners, the Harp and Celt, Stagger Inn and Arena,
Nice.
and they're doing $5 drink specials, so people can get in and get some really cool drinks for $5. And then City Arts is giving away free beer because that's what we do. We're giving away some free beer. So
love it.
People can come down and they can get nice and tipsy. Oh, and Pom Poms has taken over our cafe on third Thursday too. So they're doing a little pop up.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so we'll have some nice food going on in there, and
Pom Pom's good as hell. I haven't been there in a minute.
yeah, they're really good. And then, they did a pop up for us because we were a venue for Fringe.
For Fringe, yeah.
We did the bring your own venue.
Right.
And that was really cool, and it worked out really nice. People loved it. So we talked Paul into coming back on third Thursday, and she's going to do a little different stuff.
Well, this is a lot going on. Yeah, a lot to organize.
It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. So, but we're looking. We're trying to help the city. My idea to help the city is get it all nice and vibrant. Let them see that street should be walkable. It should not have any cars on it. It should be a pedestrian street where all of these people you can do the festivals, the restaurants can spill out.
You kind of want that
onto the
permanently?
street.
Is that something you want?
I've been after it for years.
Kat, I think-
now the city's, I think, starting to see the benefit of that, moving the buses back.
I think you should run for mayor.
I
The
think-
mayor is
All right.
planning his exit.
Yeah.
Here,
He is planning his exit, right?
Yeah, well, we
Yeah.
were trying to do a whole lot of that stuff for a while, but it's tough, because the city doesn't, and the buses are on it. But this is the first time they're like, okay, let's try it and see how it works. So I think if it goes really well and we make it fun and interactive and people get used to coming down there, we can change the whole scene.
I love it.
down
I
there.
was thinking of running for mayor.
I think we should.
I actually have considered it. I actually have considered it.
Yeah.
But I have too much sexual indiscretion.
Yeah, it's the indiscretion.
Yeah, so much is wild.
People,
I'm just always out there putting.
Apparently, that doesn't stop you now.
No, I should
Yeah,
have picked something
anymore.
else.
You
I should
can
have
run
picked something
for
else.
Anything goes, I think.
There you go.
Anything goes.
You can't use that as an excuse anymore. I'm sorry.
You mentioned that the city's making you take down the installations in 2 months, so they give you a
Well,
certain-
yeah, it's not really. Yeah, it's kind of a 2-month thing.
Now, we've worked with the city back when we did the Orlando City murals when they were announcing MLS.
Man, we had to get some stuff repainted exactly the same way back.
Right.
Oh my
Right.
god! Oh, it was a headache.
Now, I remember them
Real
being
bad.
very adamant about this stays up for 30 days, no longer than that. And that Earl Funk mural's been up for 10 years.
The Earl Funk, the
couldn't have been
Swan
the-
Boat Gator,
Yeah.
that's been up on the
That's
side.
still there, right?
Yeah, it's still there.
Over a decade that's
Yeah.
been there. And so apparently the rules are real loose.
I think
If they
if
wanted
the
it.
property owner was okay with it,
Yeah.
Kat and I met when we were managers for the Main Street district, and I had one in Ivanhoe Village.
Oh, yeah, I
but
remember
the
that.
property owner was like immediately.
Yeah.
I think it was Boy Kong.
Oh, because that's the one that, the Boy Kong one crushes my heart.
I
Because,
know.
you literally have
It's
one
like, why
of the
not
most.
just leave it up?
You have literally one of the most premier artists in our city, Boy Kong, doing this amazing mural. It was incredible. And then it was they did it, and then the next day they're like, take it down.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
sad.
crazy. It's crazy.
Sad. Could I tell you guys a little bit about what's
Please.
happening for Sally?
Yeah. Tell
So
me.
we got our friends from Orlando Science Center. They're doing a moon sand activity. I'm not really sure what that means.
Moon
It sounds
sand.
really cool. The Astronaut Scholarship Fund folks will be there giving out information. Hernalise Freeze, I hope I'm saying this right, is doing freeze-dried candy, so it's a la, the stuff that
That's very big right
astronauts
now.
might
Oh,
eat,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
You guys down with a freeze-dried
Yeah,
candy?
my kids
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Can we freeze dry our own?
You know what I
Oh, I don't know.
You know what I
don't know. That's a
figured
good
out?
question.
They sell this at 7-Eleven now, and it drives me crazy, and I should have thought of it. And I'm too late. It's already gone. But they're just taking regular Skittles and freeze-drying it and then putting it unmarked in a package and saying, these are freeze-dried Skittles. And I'm like, I should have done that. This is what...
Are you allowed to do that?
This is what hobo people have been doing at farmers market for decades. They've been selling their
Exactly.
bric-a-brac crap, and I can sell bric-a-brac crap.
If you just leave it in your cabinet for 5 years.
I mean, how did they get around that? And how come Big Skittle isn't coming and crushing them?
But let's see here. We also have you can design your own lunar lander. You can design your own launch patch. This is the big thing that everybody loves, though. There's a pop-up planetarium that you can go into that we set up in one of our exhibit halls. And then at 7 p.m., we're going to have a real live astronaut scholar. Her name is Samantha Stoltz. She is a UCF student, and she's going to be doing a presentation. So a little something for a little knowledge and that's going to be at 7 p.m. Did I say that?
Yeah,
you did.
Yeah.
7 p.m.
That's awesome.
Right at 7.
That sounds like fun.
That's the time.
You got there was no misinformation there. That was right
that's
stuff.
a real information.
I'm just afraid.
Right stuff. Do you see what I did there? Right stuff.
Yeah.
Our education team is really busy with summer camp right now, so I couldn't get one of them here. So I wanted to make sure that I got it all right because they'll get me if I don't. So.
I know. I get you.
No, I figured out a way.
We've got some rave reviews about your camps too. From I'm not going to say the name of the kiddo, but I just know personally some parents that are.
Love to hear it. To hear it. They're doing really well. Appreciate your help in getting the word out there.
Yeah, like
them.
which ones do you like? You have a bunch of different camps there, don't you? Like,
yeah. Every week is a different one, a different theme. Some of them also include going places.
Wasn't one a criminology one or something?
It's forensics. Yeah.
We have a friend whose kid got to be the judge at the camp.
Wait,
really?
He lost his mind. He thought it was the coolest thing in the world.
Camp.
You want to go to that?
Yeah, and then they got to make blood slime. Like as the treat,
blood slime.
They got to make like at the end of the thing. You got to make it like
that's not fair.
I was like, that sounds amazing. That sounds really, really fun.
Kat, you guys always have an art opening.
We do, yeah. So
Thursdays?
third Thursday goes in line with our changing of the art. So we change the art in City Arts every 30 days, and the opening night reception is always third Thursday.
Okay.
And this coming reception we have, or opening, we have Barbara Chandler, and she's doing a bunch of Caribbean art. Oh, cool. So we're also going to get some steel drummers. We're looking at some steel drummers to play alternate of Jordan. And I got some Japanese artists, which their art is really pretty. And I haven't dealt with this guy before, so I'm kind of interested to see what it is. But they're very professional Japanese artists. They'll be upstairs. Oh, wow. And then I got a call that we did, which is called Off the Chain, which is all about surrealism. So we got some surrealism art, and then, of course, Redefine and our young artists.
People are just going to need to call in.
They're just going to need to call.
It's a lot of art.
I love Off the Chain. I use that term all the time.
You do. It's also his fragrance of deodorant he uses. He uses the Old Spice, and they got all the funny names. He uses Off the Chain Old Spice.
There you go.
Or do you use naval suppression or Kraken? The Kraken.
So I'm about to straight up butcher history and science, right?
Okay.
But I figured out a way to merge art and science.
Let's do it.
In that has something to do with Sally's Night. So I remember, I think Neil deGrasse Tyson talked about this, but they were having a problem with describing what the Earth looked like from space because all the astronauts that would see it, they were all science and engineers backgrounds, so they didn't have any art background. So they were very analytical.
Yeah. It looks like Michelangelo's nose. They're like,
no, they were just explaining that without being artistic or making it romantic.
It's green and white and blue and it swirls.
And I think they eventually got had an artist or a poet go up into space so they could describe it, and that's what it took for the marketing.
Oh, I bet they didn't like that flight. They're like, we got a goddamn poet back here. He's not pulling his weight.
But it goes to show you that you need a combination of both for I feel like the full experience of life.
This is you going to bat for sensitivity and me being an emotional person.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is a breakthrough on the show.
Yes, you need both. He's
been villainizing my emotions on this show for the last year. He's been it's driven a wedge into our relationship. We've argued more this year because of you villainizing emotions, and and it's torn our family. It's torn our family apart.
I'm just questioning it in an insulting way. So, and then
I like how Kat really laughed hard at that. She does fit in here. She really fits in here. I like the negative cut of your jib.
Here's the thing. Easiest thing to do is become a member of the History Center, thehistorycenter.org.
Well, there's arguably almost too much stuff for us to even bumble through today. There's always so much going on there. So you really, if you do become a member, then you get the information first, and then you get it accurately too, because it's normally in an email and not coming out of my mouth.
So, Kat, how can people find out more about the Downtown Arts District?
So, they can go to our website, which is downtownartsdistrict.com. They can go to the Facebook page, and they can go to City Arts. And they can call because I answer the phone and answer all the questions.
There you go.
Awesome.
Now people are just going to want to talk to Kat.
Yeah, I know. They do like you. So I'll give her a call.
They do. Like, how do I get my art in there is the number one question I get.
Sure. Opportunists.
Yeah.
Like, I want to get my art in there because I'm so good.
Well, they come in and they see the art and they're like, oh, I do art. So I get to look a lot of really
it's
good
like
art.
Podcasts. I have a podcast.
Yeah.
I think artists and podcasters have a lot in common.
Well, yeah, they're
and photographers. Remember that for a while? Everyone's like, I'm a photographer. My wife's a photographer. And then you look at her photos and you go, holy smoke.
Well, you take pictures. So we're all photographers.
Oh, he's doing it again. That's when I get the photographer emails. So it's like, he was very insensitive on the show today.
And Scotty, anything else besides, obviously, Sally's Night coming up that you want to talk about? I know that are the camps done now?
No, they're through August.
Okay,
actually.
they go through the whole summer. Okay.
So weekly, we have those. So that's keeping the building buzzing. We have our pocket exhibit about the World Cup is still up, and that'll be coming down the end of the month. And then we'll have one that's about historic hotels following that. What? And we're in our final few months of Figurehead. So if there are people who wanted to see that music exhibit, they'll want to come out before that comes down. It'll come down February 2nd.
Okay.
Hit Figurehead and the soccer one together. In fact, we have a couple listeners that do that. They're kind of hand in hand. A little bit.
Yeah.
There, but there's always something fun for you guys to go and check out, guys. Thank you so much as always.
Yeah, thanks for
Thank you for your patience today as we're waiting on a guest and then we didn't get our guest. I apologize for that.
Again, thehistorycenter.org, and we will see you tomorrow. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan, and let's not waste any time because this is super exciting. In fact, you and I have been batting around a theory we have about our next guest. Yeah.
He's going to be at the Dr. Phillips Center. You can get your tickets at drphillipscenter.org on June 30th. 2 shows, one at 5 p.m., one at 8 p.m. He's moving on up because he keeps getting bigger venues, and now he's in Orlando's nicest venue.
You're at our nicest. Like, the venue that you're at is state-of-the-art. There's nothing better than that.
On Zoom with us right now is Steve-O. How's it going, Steve-O?
Well, it's going great. Thanks for having me on. And the nicest theater in Orlando is going to have the filthiest show of all time.
I did laugh a little bit.
18 plus. It's 18 plus. I've had some people reach out and say, like, hey, you want to be a mature audience viewer for this particular show, but 2 shows at the Dr. Phillips Center, and you're in the Disney-sponsored wing, man. You're in the real stuff.
I love it, man. I love it. Yeah, it's like my live comedy career is considerably more mature than people know. I've been doing it for like 13 years now, and I just had my 3rd comedy special come out, and each comedy special has become more multimedia. The first one was just me on stage doing stand-up and crazy stunts. The second one had video footage edited in to illustrate the stories. The third one I did all new stunts for, and now I'm putting together the 4th one, and it's called Steve-O's Gone Too Far. So it's just really an exciting time for me to actually go too far, and this show in particular is an exploration of everything that was genuinely too much.
Well, we've been kind of talking about that a little bit, and I'll let you kind of take it from here, Tom. But you have a theory about Steve and kind of his progression over time, and now he's gotten to this, this next iteration of now wanting to go too far.
Okay, well, yeah. Well, before we get to that, and speaking of going too far, Steve, I saw that, and it's all over social media, and it's like the hottest news right now.
His name. You cannot search the man's name.
And is this true that Post Malone is going to tattoo a cartoon penis on your forehead on Friday at Bonnaroo?
Man, I don't know why I blurted that out.
Because it's everywhere. And I'm like, no way.
You can't search your name. There's no other facts, even about the show. It's hard to find info about the show because everybody's like, oh, yeah, they're doing it again. They're doing the tattoos again.
Yeah, that's absolutely the plan, except it might happen tomorrow instead of Friday, just because the whole Bonnaroo ecosystem is, perhaps challenging to navigate. It's going to be easier just to do it the night before.
On your birthday.
And again, I really wish I hadn't blurted that out because it hasn't happened yet, and I never want to jeopardize a shoot before we get it done. It makes me nervous. Let's get it done, But with that said, it's been confirmed. The whole plan is on. Because anything can happen, so I'm super nervous until I get it done.
I like that you're nervous about not getting it done.
Because they let people down.
I have other people in your life, your loved ones, tried to talk you out of the tattoo forehead.
Yeah, I mean, you've kind of put your life together. I mean, you've got all the animals, you've got the beautiful wife, fiance. You got
you're
the
fitter
house,
than ever.
Fitter than ever. You're doing the triathlon again. Congratulations on that, Tom. My Tom just did that. Congrats on that, man. That's huge. So you got it all together. Why penis forehead tattoo?
What's going on here?
Did we lose you?
Did we lose you?
No, we're not losing me, but can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
You sound great. Yeah, why?
Okay, all right. Shit, I don't know. All of a sudden, my volume is doing something weird. Yeah, thank you for all those kind words, man. That's super rad. And yeah, I'm genuinely nervous about it not happening. And there's no reason necessarily I should be, but anything can happen. You don't want to count your chickens before they hatch. And with respect to the penis tattoo, the idea is it goes above my eyebrow on my forehead, curving in the contour of my eyebrow above it, and then as of the penis rests kind of next to my eye, there's penis, which are teardrops, or because they're
sure, yes, absolutely, yeah. It's working.
So exciting. I mean, that's one of many things that it can be considered going way too far, and it's so exciting to be on this tour as the show just comes together. I've been working on it for some time, and it's people are not going to believe how absolutely ridiculous my life is about to be.
So,
I like that.
Okay, so Daniel mentioned a little bit, and we had this theory that we talked about on the show, and I think this is true because I racked my brain to think of any other human that I could think that would even be close to you, and I couldn't think of one. And let me ask you if you think this is true. So I started thinking, I was like, I think Steve-O, as a human being, has the largest collection of odd experiences in his life
with all different levels,
with a spectrum of, like, we've all, I've watched you, Steve-O, since the beginning of your career and clown college and everything, and then even at the lowest of the lows, and then now, and you've come out of it and you're sober, and then
sobriety
and the podcast and
saving animals,
but you've never stopped collecting footage and doing crazy things. So it's been like a span of over 30 years of of doing these crazy things where I believe that you have collected more crazy experiences than any other human that's ever lived.
I mean, it's a subjective title to hand out. But I, in some respects, I'm sure that there's an argument for it. Yeah, and thank you.
Well,
I've been very deliberate.
Well, you're still doing it.
Yeah.
Like even the new tour. And again, I'd like to mention to our Orlando guys that also he's in Tampa. So there's shows up there if you want to grab them. Like what goes into like how do you decide that you want to push it a little bit more? Do you ever think that will ever end? Do you think that there's
man. What a great question. I think in my career, every single project that I've worked on, I've been convinced was my last. In the beginning, because I just didn't imagine that it could last, and then it got to a point where I just couldn't imagine that anything could get any crazier. Certainly, my last tour that I came through Tampa and Orlando with, which was Steve-O's Bucket List. I thought that I painted myself into a corner with that one. I mean, and thank God this is pre-recorded, but I ejaculated as I fell out of an airplane, butt naked, with another man strapped to my back.
Yep, I saw that there. I saw you. Yeah. Talking about that.
The things I did for my bucket list, I just thought, wow, I've painted myself into a corner. But as that tour wore on, the wheels started turning, and I came up with more. And now with the Gone Too Far tour, again, I absolutely feel that I've painted myself into a corner for sure. Honey, what is that? Oh, the hay roller. Okay, I thought we had like an even bigger cherry picker to jump off of today.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Steve, I wanted to ask you about how ranch life is, because I know you moved to Tennessee on a ranch. You moved out of California.
Yeah, man.
How's that going?
Congrats.
I'm loving it, man. I just didn't even anticipate that I was going to love it as much as I do. We're here on 44 acres in the middle of the woods. It's unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. I love it.
So, Steve, I'm curious because I read your book back in the day when you put out your book, and you talked about just throughout your whole life, you've always liked attention. And that's kind of like what fueled everything in your life is like, hey, look what I can do. You want attention. And then when I saw you move to a ranch, I was like, that's kind of secluded.
It's different.
But then the internet offers the ability to get the same attention.
Sure.
So to use the internet to supplement like real live eyeballs.
Well, yeah, I mean, everything changes. That's the nature of the world. And I, looking into my future, the idea is for me and my lady to, live happily ever after with a bunch of animals. I think I do like the idea of making it so that this ranch can be a bona fide business in its own right. Like, just kind of an adult playground with all kinds of revenue streams so that ostensibly I could retire from the attention whore business. I'd like to think that I don't have to be an attention whore for the rest of my life, just because that sounds like kind of a sad existence, being it. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know what the future looks like. I just know that there's something deep within me that just wants to get crazier and crazier all the time. And I had this conversation with Caitlyn Jenner,
Whoa.
who brought up Elton John. She said, "You remind me of Elton John. He had these outfits, and every time he had to outdo his last outfit, and it just got bigger and bigger to the point where, like, he just couldn't do it anymore, and he just gave up and started wearing a normal suit, and that was so impactful for me. Like, to think, when does my Elton John moment come?
His stopped at Donald Duck, right? Like, once he got the Donald
or
Duck.
the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers, like, did you get any pushback? I mean, knowing that you're a celebrity, you're buying a huge area, we've heard in the news and we see on TMZ and all these places where they always talk about, like, Chappelle's moving in here and this person moved in here. When you move in, did you get any pushback, or were people happy to see you?
From neighbors?
Did you get some pushback?
Big time. Before we even got the keys, everybody knew that we were coming.
Whoa.
The guy who sold us this property in Tennessee was part of a Facebook group, like, for just like whatever the local area.
Sure.
And I understand that, like, the majority of that Facebook group, if not like a great portion of it, was just out to get this guy, just out to ruin his life. Like, how dare you invite this element to our town?
Right.
And by the way, it's a small town. Like, I'm not in the part of Tennessee where, like, fancy celebrities live.
Gotcha.
Like, there's not one person who can make any sense of what the hell I'm doing in this little town. There are zero celebrities where I live, we just kind of like it that way. But as much pushback as there was, I think that I've been gradually making a pretty good reputation for myself.
Nice.
I put effort into every encounter, and not just in Tennessee, like everywhere I go.
Sure.
I believe really strongly in, what I hear from people who have had near-death experiences where, like, upon dying, they find themselves experiencing their whole life as the people who they had an influence on. So everybody whose feelings you hurt, everybody who you made feel good, you feel it as them, and in the most incredible detail. So I wanted to have a good life review, so I try to be good to everybody.
For sure.
Well, wait until they see that new tattoo. They're gonna love that.
That was funny.
Yeah.
That's Tennessee fresh.
Yeah, when you're at the 7-Eleven, and they're like, "What?" So, Steve, I'm curious. Like, I remember when you and Danny Way got the stem cell injections, and you've always done, like, kind of biohacking and done, like, medical stunts where, like, where you got an injection into your spine and your paralysis, like all these different things.
Crazy.
Even back in the day, the IV with vodka and stuff. Like, so I'm curious, are you doing any other biohacking that maybe, like, outside the country that like experimental? Because I know you've done, there's been a lot of damage to your body over the years. Are you trying to do any experiments to fix that?
Man, what a great question, and thank you so much for knowing about all of these career moments, man. It's,
I followed you. I followed you the whole time, man.
We're fans, and no bigger fan than that guy.
Yeah.
Man, I'm moved and honored that you know all of those things. And what a great question, man. I recently recorded an episode of my podcast with the UFC legend Donald Cowboy Cerrone.
Yeah.
He had invited me to his BMF ranch in New Mexico because as I was driving across country to Tennessee with my goats, I didn't want them to be in this cargo van like the whole time.
Yeah.
And so I found properties to let them out at night in pens. And one of the properties we went to was Cowboy's Ranch. And while we were there, they were telling me he wasn't in town. He was riding bulls in Texas. But his ranch hands told me that the whole time he was in the UFC, he was pissed that he couldn't do steroids. He wanted to be doing steroids. He said, when I retire, I'm getting on steroids. That's exactly what he did. They said he's just super jacked. And I was like, man, now I'm like tomorrow's my 50th birthday. And I'm like, I got to check this out, the testosterone. So we talked to Cowboy, and he said great things about it. He put me in touch with this company called Transcend, which does all peptides and testosterone replacement. Within 24 hours of meeting Cowboy, I had a needle in my arm to take blood out and do all my blood work panel. I've been shooting up peptides every single day now for, I'm guessing, a month, maybe over a month. I'm holding up on the testosterone because I've got some pranks coming up that I just can't be extra jacked for.
Yeah, you got to be fatter for those pranks. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I actually, I have to be petite for but yeah, I don't know what I feel like. Maybe I'm burning calories a little better. Maybe I'm a little more better definition with peptides. But it's tough for me to tell because I've been exercising my ass off, training for this triathlon, and I've been so diligent with a clean diet.
Nice. That's good, man.
It's tough to tell where the excellent figure is what to attribute my good looks to.
Yeah.
Sure.
But it does. We got a sponsor that does testosterone and hormones, and it seems like every rich, and every rich person and celebrity, they're all doing
the edge, every edge.
Yeah, the peptides, the testosterone, biohacking seems to be, if you could do it, definitely beneficial. I'm curious, Steve. One more question, because I know we got to go, but with your podcast Wild Ride, obviously it's a great, the fact that you have a mobile van that you do the podcast and you go to people, it's a brilliant idea, and you've had some gigantic guests on your show. Has there been any guests you were actually nervous about interviewing?
Oh my God, for sure. I got very, very I don't even know what the word is, but with Maynard from Tool.
Oh yeah,
Maynard James Keenan reduced me to a blithering idiot. I was so nervous and excited to talk to him, and this is really funny because we had never seen on the podcast me be just so incapacitated with fandom.
That's crazy. Yeah,
because you've met a lot of famous people. You know what I'm saying?
Well, also, Maynard's so reserved. You don't get a lot of FaceTime with him. You don't see a lot of articles or interviews.
Right. He's a personality who, in the social media age, has maintained mystery.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of those.
He still even dresses in character when he's on stage sometimes, and there's a real mystique there that is the rest of us have kind of given that up. We're just here's everything I do at all times. Do you ever when you're doing those, do you have a full set of questions, or do you just try to wing it and make it a natural conversation?
It depends. These days, I prepare for everyone for the most part. I've got a list of topics and questions, which I kind of keep hidden next to me. I don't want the guests to see that, but it helps me to be pretty extensively prepared. There have been times it worked great without being prepared. There have been times that it didn't work great when I was prepared. I don't know, but I care about it a lot. I really want it to do well, and it's been just shockingly life enhancing thing, you know? I'd like to just have conversations with fascinating, famous people on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
It's just cool, man. And like, I think that podcasting, it creates this super intimate relationship with the audience, you know? Like, they're actually in the room for like raw, unedited conversations, like for that many hours, like every week. Like, I don't think you could like pretend to be somebody you're not, you know? Like,
True.
Yeah,
that's true.
Know who
Yeah.
you are.
I
For
was
better or worse, you know? They're figuring out like exactly what you're like.
Yeah, good point.
And as such, I think you need to get this like super intimate relationship with your audience. And, you know, maybe that's why, you know, like I'm able to make it from comedy clubs into big theaters and stuff. But yeah,
for
it's
sure.
exciting.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
I was going to say that, Steve, because it seems like we've realized that because we've been podcasting for the past, 15 years. And
I forget that sometimes.
And when your audience hears you talk for long periods of time, because for forever, I'm sure you've experienced this. People just know you for the stunts and for what they've seen on Jackass and like small clips of you doing extreme stuff.
Yeah.
And then
you add it up, he's done more podcasts than anything, right?
And then now they get to see you have long form conversations, so they get to know the real you. They get to actually know Steve-O as a person and your thoughts beyond the crazy the stunts, and that I bet has engaged, like
not only
created
engaged,
a stronger
I
engagement.
think it galvanizes it.
Yeah.
I think it like makes it. Like, because these people that will come to and you're going to be at the Dr. Phillips, again, get your tickets, but those people that show up are like, they're going to be with you for life.
And now they know you even more.
Yeah, it's rad, man. I'm super grateful for it. It's been, I was kind of dreading the podcasting just because, asking people to be a guest on your podcast, and we could do my podcast. Like, that's why I decided to do it in a van, so I could bring the studio to the guests to kind of take the sting out of how annoying it is. To
make it easier.
It's brilliant, man. It's brilliant.
Yeah, and I remember saying that to Joe Rogan, and he was like, "Oh man, I was like, I just didn't had so much trouble asking people to do my podcast." He goes, "Oh man, that's not the problem. He's like, the problem is everybody asking, can I be on your podcast?"
Right.
And that's becoming a thing too. It's like every potential guest for our podcast, my whole team gets an equal vote. We're just super democratic, and that approach both helps a lot because I don't always get it right. There have been guests I thought were going to do awful, and they crushed, and and the opposite. There are guests I thought were going to be amazing, and they didn't do anything. But it helps when people ask me and they're just not like a fit for the podcast, that I can say, "Hey, man, I'll put it to the team. Everybody gets a vote." It kind of takes it off of me a little bit.
No, that's a super smart idea, dude.
That is good.
Well, Steve, thanks for taking the time to talk to us again.
Man, dude, if you guys announced that I was supposed to be on the show yesterday, let me just apologize. Either way, then nobody told me a time, and the fact that I inadvertently stood you guys up, it bums me out. So
no worries at all, man. We're fans. We love it when you get to come to town. And next time, man, hopefully if you're blowing through, we get you in the studio or something.
I love that, man.
Or maybe we'll drive over. We'll get a van and put a hard gear in it. But we really appreciate you're always a sweetheart to us, man. Congrats on all the success. Congrats on the Tampa gig, the Orlando gig, and we'll see you when you get to town.
Yeah, for sure, man. Let's make sure that you guys, of course you're going to have tickets anyway, but let's make sure you guys come. We'll get you on a special list to, come backstage and say what's up.
Okay.
Would love that, man. Yeah, we'll take you up on that. We normally lie to everybody and say, we'll do that, but this one we're not lying.
100%.
This one we're not lying. We're going to do it. We're going to do it.
I love it, man. I love it. I appreciate you guys. And, we'll see you in Orlando. We'll see you in Tampa. And everybody get your tickets at stevo.com. Like, you're not going to believe how crazy things are getting, and you're going to want to be at this show.
I love it.
Awesome.
I love it, man. Well, have a great rest of your day, and thanks again, man. Take care.
Oh, yeah, man. Take care, guys.
Cheers. That is Steve-O live from his ranch. He's in the ranch.
It's so good to see how good he's doing. You know,
We got to see his, I didn't want to say it during, we got to see his fiancée in the back.
Oh, I didn't see
his
it.
wife. Yeah, she was cleaning up in the back.
Yeah.
We got to see his animals walking by. Saw a pig in the background. 2 dogs came by, a cat. That was neat. I didn't want to point it out, though. Like, I didn't even want to say it was my birthday. Like, I was like, wish me happy birthday, please. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I had a lot of things, dumb things I wanted to say. Hey, that's your wife. The chat room's like, she's beautiful. Of course, he's rich and famous. What do you think?
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time. Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
We've got the Bart Merrick team in studio with us. Bart Merrick and Crystal Van.
It does, yeah.
I'm
What's
so
going on,
glad
guys?
you remembered our name this time.
Yes.
what do you mean?
Last time you were like the real estate team of.
Oh, I know
You
I
did fumble
did. I
it
didn't
last
say the
time.
real estate
You fumbled
team
it a
of the
little bit last time.
Merrick.
Yeah. I think there's some people here. I don't know. Daniel,
I forgot
are
who
these
they
people?
were.
We have the Bart Merrick team, though, and again, this is a perfect time for me to reiterate that we are a 100% AI-free show. We will not have a Bart Merrick team theme. We will not have some stupid rap
that's what we
song
need
for
it
you
for.
to tap your toe to. No, sir. We're real humans doing real boring stuff, just like before AI.
I think Bart and I need our own jingle.
Play the gay song.
Okay, I'll play the game.
Can we play that on the radio?
No, I'll cut it out. It's fine.
Okay.
So this is the one that Tom likes, and it's a little guilty pleasure because we are battling with our listeners right now on.
Well, you were only playing it for Twitch.
I'm
now.
only playing it for Twitch now because people are getting mad. Like, you're seeing some, and I even asked AI. I said, Mother AI, why are people rejecting you? And Mother AI said, well, it can be kind of scary when you see your entire future destroyed in a split second, in a nano, right?
You know what it is? It's the Terminator 2 generation.
It is, yeah.
The Terminator 2 generation doesn't like
They
AI.
don't like it. They reject
because
it.
they remember the chain link fence and the burning.
Yeah, and there's no way your bones would still be on the fence.
Although
Hanging on.
Yeah, hanging on.
Like the tendons are still there
You'd
somehow.
have to have a wire tendon. Okay, this song.
that's more of nuclear bomb fear.
That's coming. We can do
Why
that.
was AI get associated with it?
This is an exclusive. Tom's doing this. I made this for you. This song is on Spotify currently.
We can't even play this. This is so bad that you have to beep the whole thing.
No. This is not bad. It's Pride Month.
Oh, I
this is
can't wait to
perfect.
see this.
Ties right in. The song will be on Spotify tonight. I did the theme song and I did the artwork. It's a country song. It's called "Think I'm Gay." Here we go. Brand new song.
I like big and thick. I like it so much, it make me sick. I like a fat boy, big and slick. Give me that these nuts, but I think I'm gay. Give me that. Give me that.
Come on, you have to beep it out too much. The whole damn thing.
I think I'm gay.
No, come on.
Give me that. I think I'm gay. Big and thick.
Big and thick.
Come
I
on.
like it so much.
Okay, yeah. So there's that.
That sounds like what happened to my dream last night.
Oh, you can't. You definitely can't talk about that.
Don't say that.
I guess without context, that is a weird thing for me to say.
You just literally blew my mind because I know what you're talking about.
Come on.
I have tears falling in my eyes. Okay. Get it together,
All right,
Dan.
we got to start over.
This is how
We're starting over.
real estate.
Oh my God, the barbaric team's here.
All right, so
You are going to bleep all that, right?
Yeah. I have to legally. The FCC will. They'll get me if I don't believe that. But that song, it's called "Think I'm Gay." It will be on Spotify later today.
I'm going to talk to Bart for a second. So, Bart, I was thinking about this when I knew you guys were coming in, and this all ties together. So just follow
I
me.
wonder what Charles Ruttenberg thinks about all of that.
Now, in this one
Go play
situation,
Ruttenberg, man.
Charles is like, what?
in this instance, I don't really want you to say that.
Okay.
Like we're
That's
supposed to, but
That's fair.
I don't want it to follow
fair.
her.
Crazy about Let's see what this.
Oh, goodness.
Whoa! Anyway, so Bart, so
Okay, we're good. We're good. We're back on track. Pros.
I happen to marry a strong woman. Okay,
You did.
And sometimes I think, what would happen if because
We haven't broken the show like this in a minute.
there are some people that their wives, and I found this is like a popular thing. Andres was telling me, like there's like a whole sect of Miami that have like kept Cuban wives, and they don't let their wives drive.
Oh yeah. You go fill up the,
that's the thing. They don't
drive
put
them
gas
around.
Yeah.
Those guys still have a car that's so old you're putting gas under the license plate. I've seen those guys where you fold the license plate down.
No, but they're young Cuban guys,
Oh, okay.
but keep their families kept or their wives kept, the old Cuban tradition,
Like
or something like that.
There is a part of me that does like the wife that gets up, gets a shower, and then dresses like she's going to the Academy Awards, and then sits in front of the TV all day, and then at the end of the day, I drive her around, and we get a meal. And then at the end of the night, she takes all of her makeup on and we make love and we do it all again the next day.
Yeah, they rely on their husbands for everything, to drive them around, to pay for everything.
Yes.
Like they don't have any credit cards or whatever. They're like, it's an old school.
You know, we have
Cuba.
we have a gay listener that is getting a divorce who wrote in. I have a voicemail if you want me to play it.
Well,
Okay, make your point. Make your point. But it goes along with
because this
it.
leads into a generator and being electrocuted.
Yeah. Is this not knowing how to do anything? Is that where you're going?
No.
Okay. Sorry, sorry.
I'm just giving you the difference. And sometimes I think, like, what if I had a wife that was the kept wife that didn't drive or whatever? I just did everything she just relied on me to do everything. I'm like, would that be, it seemed like a lot of work, though.
There.
Yeah, that would be.
You want, your partner to do things themselves.
My wife does everything for me.
You're the
Because I'm sort of incapable. I am a Spanish. I'm a tiny, short, fat Spanish real woman.
So anyway,
I'm a chiquitica.
But Crystal is the more independent, strong woman. She gets it from her mom. She doesn't need me to do anything for her.
Okay,
in fact, she gets mad if I offer to do anything that she could do.
Annie Oakley over
Oh
here,
yeah. She doesn't like to ask me for help. Like I see the pain in her eyes when she asks me to like lift something heavy because I am stronger than her.
That's fair.
So it hurts her
she's shaking
to
her
admit
head.
that.
You had to get something.
He did need something. He needed something.
I got testosterone. Not that much. I want more.
I've been checking mine. I've been checking mine. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes the bottom drops out of it.
I'm gonna get it. Anyway, so the other day we have a problem where we live in Castleberry.
We live in Maitland.
Well, the one problem I saw in Castleberry is they had that man that stabbed his wife in the head and killed her.
Oh, that happens everywhere.
That is it does happen. You're right.
But so for whatever reason, the area we live in, because it's it is Maitland, but it's on the fringe of Maitland Winter Park and more towards adjacent to Castleberry.
Yeah, there's wrong side of the tracks, and then you guys are like on the tracks.
But for whatever our neighborhood, like Maitland doesn't want us, Winter Park definitely doesn't want us,
right?
And then Castleberry, for whatever reason, doesn't want us either.
We're not hard enough for Castleberry.
So we're too weak.
You're too weak for Castleberry.
So we lose electricity all the time, like the minor weather that we've been having.
And you don't like to talk about this either. You keep it real quiet because I think you think of it as like it reflects on you.
Yeah.
Like, the other day he's like, "Oh, the power's out again." Like I heard, he's like, "Well, the power's
Within
out
the
again."
past week, on 2 separate days, we lost power, and it was out for 5 to 6 hours.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
You guys
of
do
power.
lose power in inordinate amount of time.
It is.
Lord
And it
knows.
wasn't even raining. The second time, it was a blue, sunny sky. It was like, all right, well, we
Yeah,
got
What
no
do you
power
do?
for
You
6
got to be
hours.
doing something wrong.
Well, no,
It's the whole neighborhood.
It's where I don't know what the hell the lines or something. Or they're not.
Okay.
Or we're like in this limbo where like nobody really
Why
wants us.
is it so fragile? Why not?
I have no idea.
Yeah, they don't.
And we have underground power lines.
Interesting. I never thought.
But I guess whatever they connect, maybe where they connect.
It's the coons in the ground. They're digging up the line.
No, I meant like eventually they do reach a pole that's above ground, so maybe it's wooded and there's a lot
I bet it's your sewer coons
activity over
your
there.
Lines.
I don't know.
You got sewer coons eating your lines, dude. That's got to be it.
So we lost power for a long time, and then Crystal has this, I wouldn't call it irrational fear, but this fear of our refrigerator and our freezer melting and losing all our food, right? Because she doesn't want to waste, then she's like, it's got this thing about wasting food.
I mean, you guys,
so she's freezing
all
the
the
stuff.
There's not a lot of meat in there, right? Like, so that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm pointing
I've spent a lot of time boiling vegetable scraps to make all that broth I have in there.
So there's a bunch of...
So that you have a whole entire refrigerator filled with... Wouldn't it just unthaw and then you could just refreeze it because it's broth?
Well, there's other stuff in there.
Yeah. So when we lost it, the night before,
I remember the baby food because this has been happening a minute because she used to have.
I would puree that baby food, pre-make it,
and it was in the pouches ready to go.
Oh yeah. By the way, we punted all that in the trash. And that's another thing. When we're punting all this old frozen stuff in the trash, like a year later, I think to myself, I'm like, why were you so afraid of losing this?
At least it's vegetables. At least she's trying. My daughter this morning, she cooked herself 2 scrambled eggs, and then after that, she was like, that wasn't enough. And then she ate a Canadian bacon and egg omelet. She made a whole nother omelet afterwards. So she ended up eating like 6 eggs. She's like a power lifter. It's kind of you should smell the doo-doo. It's bad, man. It's bad.
I wish my sons could cook themselves breakfast. I don't even know if they know what an oven is. But it's like if I did an appliance test, I'm not sure how well they'd score.
So anyway, what did you do?
So Crystal's like the night before when we lost the power, Crystal's like, should we start the generator? And so that we run the fridges.
Let me explain. You don't always know how long it's going to be out. So, like, if it's only out 2 hours, it's not a big deal. But if you're getting into 6-7 hours, I feel like I'm about to go to bed. So then it's going to be another however many hours before I'm awake to turn the generator on if it's still off. So now you're,
But the
do you wrap the generator in pillows? Like a blender?
The power company, but here's the thing. The power company tells you a time farther than actually. So then when it comes on a couple hours earlier, you're like, oh, they did a good job. But it's a classic trick.
It's a lie.
It's a sales tactic. Bart knows.
Yeah, it is a lie.
You overestimate a time. Then when you come in under, just like with prices or whatever, then the client's like, oh, they did a better job. And they always knew that. They just told us and they do it every time.
Yeah, they sucker you in.
The day before when we lost power, at 9:30, they sent a text that said, repairs have been completed. Congratulations, your power is back on. And ours was not. It was another 3 hours.
Now, see, that would really, honestly, you know how sensitive I am? That would crush me. I would be so mad. I would rage. I take that so personally.
So the second day when we lost it, I was coming off of that, where they're like, okay, it's going to be back on at 5 o'clock. It went out at 10 a.m. That's already 7 hours. And then I'm thinking, what if ours gets missed again or something? Now it's another couple hours.
I think I would feel that way too.
Let's just go ahead and get ahead of it and put the generator on. It's not a big deal. You just plug it into the house.
It's planning.
Bing, bing, bing. Do the breakers, and it works.
You know how heavy it is, and you know how much garbage is in my garage.
There.
Okay, well so then the next day,
no. You made your wife drag you.
No, I didn't make nothing.
I saw him.
I didn't do
here.
nothing.
He left here and told me. Now, am I getting you into trouble? Is this getting too real? You can wink if I'm not. He was like, I'm going to prepare the generator, and he left.
I know. I called him home to do it.
Okay. So
what happened?
To help me do
Crystal called me during the day, and then she's like, "Power's out again." I'm like, "Well, it's not even raining." And she's like, "I don't know, it just turned off."
I remember this.
And they're like, "It's," and they say they estimate, 5 p.m. tonight, and all our food will be melted. And then again with the food,
well, it spoils. You get it's hot and then cold and then hot, and the butter tastes bad.
I'm like, it's frozen in the freezer. There's some time that if you don't open
especially if you don't open it.
Yeah. It stays frozen for a while. So then I'm talking to her. I'm like, well, because I'm doing the math. I don't want to go home, pull the generator. It's under a bunch of garbage, and then get it out through the one area of my
why
garage.
has it got garbage on it?
Oh, because it accumulated garbage over the year. Because we don't use it once a year, maybe, when hurricanes come. Anyway.
Mike from Mike's Weather Page would be disappointed in the fact that you didn't have that thing ready and dust it off.
It doesn't matter.
Every year you check it, put some stabilizer in it, check the gas.
So,
This is just
I'm
gripes. We're in here.
No,
Bart,
no,
I feel like
I'm
you got
getting-
suckered in for gripes.
Bart and I are here
I know
for
we're gonna
another
talk. I wrote that
purpose.
down.
Bart hasn't said one word. He's in
Sorry,
shock.
Bart.
He's in shock after
I
that
just
gay
wrote-
cowboy song. It blew his shoes off. Bart's like, how do they recover from the gay cowboy song? I don't think they can.
I promise I'm almost done.
I'm here to tell you, Bart, we're going to recover. We're going to land this puppy.
So she's telling me, she's like, I think you should come back home and then pull the generator out, and we should hook it up to the house and get it started. It hasn't been started in a year, so who the hell knows?
I see nothing wrong here.
Yeah. So
I mean, this sounds like what he told me he was going to do.
But I'm like, well, it's,
Andres is in town. You went fishing.
no,
with him, didn't you?
it's 2:00, and like they said 5:00, and like 3-4 hours, even it's a
Go
little
take
longer.
a nap. You got plenty of time.
Like it'll probably.
But it had already been out for 4.5 hours.
I'm like, it'll probably pop back on anytime. We don't need to do all this.
I understand. He didn't want to go to all the trouble to plug the generator
Yeah.
in.
For it
Why
to
not?
turn right back
And then
on.
yes.
Yeah. That's what's gonna happen. So then
You hate that. We did that with Steve O. We almost did that with Steve O.
So then
we were waiting for Steve O, and we didn't think he was going to call. We didn't think he was calling. We gave it 10 minutes, then he didn't call, right? But we knew as soon as we brought the other guest in that as soon as we brought him in, boop, he popped right up.
And did it
go.
happen?
No,
it didn't. It didn't happen. It didn't.
So then I'm like, well, maybe we should wait. Like, I'm willing to take the gamble. I'm like, maybe losing some broth as opposed to the tremendous amount of effort to get this damn generator outside, plug it in, go through it, shut off all the thing, turn it on. There's a whole thing.
And you know it's not going to start, right?
And then she's like, I already took it. So Crystal already pulled it
I
out.
was just trying to be helpful.
And then
I feel
so
like,
now
I
I'm
feel
committed.
like such a pussy when Andrea does that, and Andrea's strong, and she'll do things, and I'll go like, oh man, you shouldn't let her do that, but then I'm too weak to fight her. So
You know what's interesting about this?
Yeah.
I heard this entire story from Crystal, and now I get to hear it from Tom's perspective, and I get a lot of this.
So we all different perspectives.
You need counseling, man. You need some counseling,
It's
man.
interesting.
What did you hear? Because right now you're hearing the God's honest truth.
God honest truth.
I'm describing it with 100% accuracy.
What version did you hear, Mr. Merrick?
Yeah. You're hearing the emotional side of it, which who knows what's in there.
Who else heard the emotional side? Did
Yeah.
Charles Rottenberg hear it?
I am telling you, fact by fact, my
You're sure
account
taking
of
a
what
long
happened.
time. Tell us the facts.
Bart's getting the emotional, all the baggage of me not piling the
Listening,
trash.
yeah.
yeah. All the what could happen, 10,000
It was
scenarios.
it was about the. the-
Crystal likes to do like, what if we
Yeah.
lose everything and the kids starve to
my
death?
emotion is a generator, and it needs to be fired up sometimes.
I also need the internet on to be able to work at home. I also, I need the lights on.
Your
There's
phone-
things I need.
Well, your phone's got the internet.
I need big internet, not
I do
little
like
internet.
I do like big internet.
Yeah,
I'm a
sometimes
fan.
you need big internet.
So anyway, I'm on the phone. Crystal's like, how do you start this thing? I'm trying to give her the
Oh, there's
directions.
nothing I bet you love more than trying to walk her through the generator.
Well,
Where
I
are
never
you?
understand the choke. I don't know what the choke is for. I don't know which direction is off or on. There's no sign that says off or on, and
It's because
I don't know.
the choke is
do it.
meant to you're supposed to just wiggle it crazy.
Yeah, I'm yanking the thing and I'm putting it back and forth.
Yeah. And then
my arm's getting tired.
And then it is tried and true that you're supposed to push the choke all the way to the front, try to start it. If that doesn't work,
Put it the other way.
put it the other way. all the way
That's
to
what
the
I told her. She's like, which way's on, which way's off? I'm like,
doesn't
there's no
make
way to
any
know.
sense.
Yeah. There's only, if it starts, it's on. If it doesn't start, it's off.
I remember my dad trying to teach me this, and I'm like, well, I don't understand what it does. And he's like, well, I don't either. But
Yeah,
you push it
why-
forward and let it go, or you push it back and let it go.
It's like if it's this way, it doesn't work. Well, why just always have it this way? I don't know.
No, it doesn't
Whatever.
work like that.
Well, I thought that TC would do the heavy parts, like bringing the generator out and making sure there's gas in it and that stuff. And I am the expert on knowing the order of things. You turn off the breakers here, you go turn off the main breaker, you plug it in,
You
you
don't
start
run
the generator.
these, sure.
Don't do this in the wrong order, you're going to blow all your appliances up. So that's what I was priding myself on. is being the one who like knows the order of how to do it.
I respect that.
Safely.
So then Crystal's like, this thing's bone dry, has no gas.
Well, yeah, I
then
could have told you
and
that.
she's like, where's the gas? I'm like, it's out in the pool shed.
You idiot.
Because it used to be in our garage, but you smelled gas every day, and you kept telling me the gas cans were stinking up the whole garage and her laundry.
I remember when it stunk because
my clothes would stink.
Because I went over to do something,
No, it
remember?
didn't
And I
stink.
opened your garage. I was like, holy crap. It's like walking through a Breaking Bad
It's like he's got a
chemical
little
factory.
fan inside the gas thing, and it's blowing the fumes out into the
No,
garage.
it's your emotional people smell gas and smell everything.
no,
if Bart was there, he smelled no gas.
No, if one person lit a cigarette near that place, the whole boom blow the roof off.
No, anyway, so I go out to the pool shed. I get that, and the gas can's hot.
dry.
No, it's hot. I mean, like, this thing is boiling out there, and then I'm
That's
like,
good.
oh man,
Boiling gas burns better. Everybody knows that.
So I put the gas in. It starts up, and I'm like, oh, I'm glad it started because I haven't started this thing in a while.
You were ready to get bitched at.
And then so I started up, and then I call Crystal. I'm like, all right, it's on. So and Crystal knows the whole the person that helped us wire this to the house or whatever gave us a whole checklist, and Crystal knows the checklist, and I'm bad at checklists. So then, so she's like, all right, I'm gonna plug it in. So she plugs, and the plug we have is homemade. Because the electrician that did it said they don't make this.
They don't make it, so I went in my truck and I whipped you up a little something special.
It's like mail on both sides. So
The double gay. You did it a double gay prong. Yeah.
One plugs into the generator, and the other male plugs into the plug.
That's
that goes
called a
to the house.
double dildo. I've seen that online.
Yeah.
Girls
Butt
can
to
use
butt.
it.
And I'm like, they don't make this.
Yeah.
Like, don't they make this? They make everything.
Well, it was homemade.
The electric company said can't make it. Can't be done.
There's probably a safety reason for it.
Yeah. So
chat room is a lot of people chiming in that the male on male plug will kill you if you're not super safe.
That doesn't sound right.
I feel like that's propaganda, anti-gay propaganda, right? Like the male to male plug will kill you.
Well,
so the generator's on, and then I don't know the checklist. I'm here because Crystal knows the checklist. That's
Well,
the
then why
team.
don't you just wait for Crystal to get the checklist?
No, I am.
I was there. I was a part of this.
So the generator's on, and then I'm like, oh, she knows the checklist, and then I see her plugging in the
dildo.
the one male side to a running generator, and I'm like, in my mind, I was like, well, this doesn't seem right, really, because now as soon as you plug that plug in, it's shooting out a ton of electricity through the plug.
It's like concerning
into the other male side. You know what I mean?
You're just standing there with a Ghostbusters backpack shooting lasers into the
But
sky.
I don't question it because I'm like, well, this is the part of the team.
She's
Like,
a Ghostbuster.
Right.
I'm
He trusted my side of the teamwork.
I'm the lifter, and
Yeah.
I
I'm
get
a
the
lifter.
gas.
She's the Ghostbuster.
Well, everybody makes mistakes.
So then
I just want to say that.
And then I just stand there, and then she grabs the other side of it, and then she's like, yeah!
You blew your bra?
And it stunned her for a second, like it grabbed the holder. It's like, yeah! And then,
Oh my God, you have superpowers
and
now.
then she stumbled back into the trash cans. And then she's like, oh, I electrocuted him. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh my God. And then I'm like, what? You electrocuted yourself? And then I'm like, shut her down. I shut down the
Shut her
generator.
down like Gordon Ramsay. He yells like Gordon Ramsay. Shut her down.
And then she's like, my heart's beating fast. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, there's a lot of
How do
amperage
you
or
feel
whatever,
right now?
something.
I will say you look great.
Then
So
when-
whatever it did,
When she
you look
looked down the
amazing.
couch, she's like, I think I've hurt myself.
Did you go to the
I'm
doctor?
like, no. It wasn't that bad. It was, but it scared me. I was like, are there going to be lasting effects? And I was checking my speech, like A, B, C. Like I was trying to make
Bob
sure.
that teeth. Oh no!
I'm like, you're talking like the Hulk.
Oh my God! You want to buy house? Me help you. Me part of Bart Maverick team.
I'm like, is this normal brain fog of like
Yeah.
a 43-year-old woman, or is this like electrocuted?
Did you get a
brain
cold
fog?
glass of water and just kind of like chill out for a second?
Yeah, it was.
What are you
I
doing?
did it in the wrong order. I was supposed to plug it in before we turned the generator on,
Right.
and I didn't.
That's fine.
So
I made a mistake.
So she plugs it in the
How
house.
did you shut it down? Did you have to get a stick?
There's a button. No, there's a button.
You have to get a stick and kick it away from her. I've seen those videos.
So we plug the generator generator on, turn on the refrigerators, the ice box, everything, and then I'm mad, so I go outside and I'm like, I'm gonna
I'm gonna work out mad.
Work in the yard. Or
I'm
whatever.
gonna work at the yard. So
Is that what you do when you're mad? You go and sit with your thoughts?
10 to 12 minutes later, as I sit there, I see Crystal marching out, and then I hear the generator turn off, right? So then I'm like, oh, that's weird. So I walk over there, and power's back on.
There was no
12
way
minutes
I could have
later.
possibly known that.
Yeah.
It could
That's
have
true.
been way later.
And then I have to pull the generator back on under the garbage.
Why put the garbage back on it?
And as I'm pulling the generator back, which is a pain in the ass, it's heavy as hell, and I lost the handle to it, so I have to pull it 5 inches at a time.
he's angry at something, but he lost the handle.
How do you lose a generator handle?
And then I'm like, none of this needed to be done. Crystal didn't need to electrocute herself. We didn't need to pull the generator in and out of the house. All this for nothing.
Did you save the vegetables?
Yeah, how's the broth?
Yeah, I'll be throwing that away in a year. Don't worry.
I use it to cook the pasta in.
Okay, so
That's a good idea.
Extra nutrients.
My refrigerator is just a place where we put stuff because we feel guilty about throwing it away.
And then
until
you throw it
gets
away
so
later.
bad.
yeah. You put all the leftovers. So anyway, let's get down to business.
Okay, all right.
So
Now that we got that out of the way.
I'm glad you're okay.
I am too, shoot.
That could have been bad.
And I was thinking I was going to do that by myself without him there. I'm really glad I didn't. Electricity is nothing to play with, guys.
Yeah.
It is very serious.
G.I. Joe. Knowing is
Double check
the
the
battle.
checklist.
Yeah.
And always have somebody there with you.
Exactly.
So
It's a two-man job.
Crystal's like, what would you have done if I got...
You find her dead laying by the trash cans?
No, I was
shaking?
out there. I mean, what if it would grab the hold of me and then it started electrocuting you? I was like, I'll hit you over the head with a trash can.
You have to.
That's what you're supposed to do.
That's what
Listen,
you're supposed to do.
Bart and I have an inspector we love working with, and he always uses, when he's talking about the electrical panel, and he'll warn our buyers, don't touch this or don't do that, or you'll get a taste of your fillings. And we always love his little sayings.
A taste of your fillings.
And
Oh,
I
like
did
that.
get a taste of my fillings. I was like,
You know how good the house is by what fruit he refers to it as? If it's a cherry or if it's an apple.
he likes peach. Peach.
There's a whole
Yeah.
Peach above cherry? I know what the
I think
peach is.
cherry's the top.
It's like Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Daniel saw an article about, and this ties in. I'm
It's
sure
in the
you guys
Atlantic. It's in the Atlantic, and I don't subscribe, so I can't get past their ad blockers.
Right, you can only see the headline.
Yeah, I only saw the first paragraph.
Right.
And about how the formal dining room is done.
Bye-bye.
And how people aren't using their formal dining rooms much, and it's not that big of a deal anymore.
This article was claiming that in more forward areas, I don't know how Orlando sits. You guys will know that, but in areas that make the style or make the trends, it seems like the formal dining room is being a room that's repurposed in some.
Well, everyone wants a big
weird
open
way.
floor plan now. No one wants the partitioned little rooms throughout the house. Just one big living space with an open kitchen concept tends to be what everyone's going for today. And that was a popular style where you walk into a house and you have a den on the left and a dining room on the right, and it opens up in the living room forward.
Yeah.
And I mean, how often do you guys? The dining room today, what I see it tends to be a place where you put your nice stuff, and then when Christmas comes, you put the tree up there.
Yes, it's
Okay.
almost like a showpiece, but it is ridiculous. Our dining room has Legos and piles of toys.
But are they
projects.
playing in it? Because I would argue that you're using it.
No.
No. Once they trash it up good, it's
They
too
fill the
trash.
table, and now when you can't see the table anymore, they're like, I don't want to go in there.
Because it's gross. My mom and dad had the quintessential dining room, and then they had. I remember it was a big deal that they were like, we're getting a new dining room suite, and then my mom and dad ordered it from the Hooker Furniture Company in Danville, Virginia, where they're from. And my dad, because he ordered it factory direct, he could get this specific type of cherry wood, really high quality, but he was going to pick it up and not have it shipped so he could save a ton of money because we didn't have a lot of money, So he drove up there and he drove all this furniture back, and I remember they meticulously put it all in there, and then they put my mom's silver in there, and then she had all these different plates, and all of her favorite china was in the cabinet. On display. And then she had a cherry table that was beautiful. I mean, so beautiful. And we just never went in there. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it wasn't a used room. It was a
it's bizarre.
and they loved it, and it was beautiful. And I remember the biggest fight my mom and dad got into. I still remember is my dad was helping, and he felt terrible. He was helping her put out the china for Christmas, and they had this brand new cherry table, and he took the plate and he slid it right across the cherry.
Okay.
And there was no protectant on there, and it just gouged the table.
A
And my
plate?
mom started crying. It was like a thing. I remember it was like a thing.
Yeah, generationally, I think the dining room's probably getting phased out over time.
Things change, my mom has silver, like the silver set that her mom gave to her.
Yeah, that's what we had.
And she, at Christmas time, I'm cooking dinner, and she's like, should I go get the silver? And I'm like, no, why would you do that? I don't want to have to clean the tarnish off. Just use the stuff I have over here.
having
Bed
the
Bath
nice
and Beyond.
plates.
It's perfect.
I had a choice to make with Andrea, and I made this discussion. I think you guys were even part of it. And I had a bunch of that stuff from my mom. And my mom at some point had been like the lightning rod for the family to collect all the silver. So we had all this stuff that was never used, and it was just like a bunch of silver crap. Like it was unused boxes of really nice silver that if you are into silver and you like that, you would use.
It was a whole utensil made of pure silver?
Yes. Yes. And
that
then,
much
and then
silver?
the box was a wooden box that's scalloped and crazy looking, and you lift it up, and inside of it, it's like velour or velvet.
Yes.
And
Yes.
there's 1 million crazy little intricate little things in there that are all black because they've all tarnished.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
then you
what-
have, so before you serve your Christmas dinner, you have to spend a whole day
My dad would do this.
cleaning the silver.
Yeah.
That was my dad's job. So my dad would sit in there. And
Is it better?
He did love it, though.
Is the experience
It's
better?
just it's part of the it's part of like the dining room.
Yeah.
and having everything look just so.
And Dad liked it because he was good at it. My dad could clean silver well. I don't know why. Like, there's certain things that my dad could do that were artistic that he could nail. Like painting the interior of a home. He could do it freehand with just a couple of brushes, and you'd be like, holy S, Mr. Dennis, that looks incredible. Polishing silver. He loved it. He would sit out there and listen to country music with a pee-pee dog, and he would clean silver for like 9 hours.
Was like if you just use a regular metal fork.
I think it was just like a first class thing. Like,
yeah,
okay.
it's like let's.
What are you, some kind of piece of... you know what? My dad hated you, and he always...
What's the difference?
I think it was
You
just.
know, it's
I'm
like
with you.
people used to wear suits to work, and
Yeah,
now
yeah.
it's more casual. And I just think over time things change, and
Ooh.
the dining room going by the wayside is one of those things.
I think we found something because chat rooms lighting up with different people that go, I love cleaning silver. My dad, he would say that. That's a phrase. Oh, I love cleaning. Give me the silver. And
It's a waste of time.
I think it's because you can see it. Like you would
Okay.
clean it,
it's
and
not
then
a waste of time if they enjoy it.
that's true. He doesn't like that though. He doesn't. He can't.
Just because you wouldn't enjoy it, doesn't mean
enjoying
somebody else
feelings. What are you? Are you crazy? But yeah, like I think it's like mowing grass. Like you look at the dirty, tarnished silver, and there's a weight to it. I'm just trying to give you some positives.
Yeah.
It is different when you hold it. You're like, oh,
He's
wow.
not going to pick up what you're putting.
Like if you're at a dinner and you go to someone's house and you pick up the fork and you know it's silver, it is a little bit. To me, it's like, oh, holy
The
smokes!
silver's expensive right now. I think it's $30 an ounce.
Yeah, like
probably
that
should-
whole
I should have
set
sold all that.
should have. I mean, how much is that worth? $1,000 of silver? You know, you
It used to
melted
be
it.
the thing you gave people too, like for like weddings, or,
right, like your 25th anniversary or something.
So I started thinking like the formal dining room, like the formal living room back in the 80s and 90s where you go into your grandma's house and there was some like living room before the living room everybody used. And that was a thing that we all grew up with. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, don't go in that. Like, that's the showpiece living room. No one uses that. It's bizarre. Like
family room.
Family room is back when like you had extra room. And we weren't trying to maximize the amount of room we have in our house. It was like, oh, we have a bunch of extra rooms.
Right, like the
It
houses
didn't
just
matter.
came on 2 acres.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And
well,
so-
like man cave. That's a new room that I think we could get rid of. Like I'm not a big fan of the man cave.
So you know
I
what?
think it's fun to have your
How-
own room, but
how
I
often
hate
do
the
we
name of it.
See a man cave.
No, it's not very
It's not-
often. But if we do see it, it's usually in one of those, like the
Useless rooms.
when you open the door to a house and you have the 2 rooms, like Bart said,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
den on the right and the dining room on the left or whatever, and those rooms are totally unused. Then you get to the kitchen and the family room and the dining room or whatever.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the house kind of starts at the kitchen. If you have those 2 front rooms, are just kind of wasted.
yeah.
I feel like it's wasted square footage because nobody ever goes up there.
Well,
but
that's
you've
why
got
I like what you guys
400 or
have.
500 square feet up here that nobody's in.
You guys have the best because it's entrance and where you agree people, then kitchen. That's the center. To me, that's the center. That's where you hang out.
Yeah,
and
everybody
you
hangs
eat,
out.
and you cook and talk.
Yeah.
And then the living room is adjacent, so you can cook and watch sports. I think you guys have it right. That's what I see more of, is that big, giant,
Open.
That's what's
floor
popular
plan.
now.
yeah, like big, giant cooking and talking room.
But then I think I wish there was a wall here so that I couldn't see the couch from my bed.
Okay, I see
You
what
know
you're
what I
saying.
mean?
Yeah, I see what you're
So
saying.
now I want to put the walls back up.
So-
he'll love that.
I'm just kidding.
Are there like things now that you're seeing, like trends? Like I know like mother-in-law suite or extra like attached apartment or whatever it is, like that's a popular thing, like accessory dwelling unit or something like that, because people are home prices are so expensive. Like people are like, oh, I could put my in-laws or mom and dad in here, or like kids or whatever, or rent it out for
Yeah.
extra income.
Actually, like an in-law suite, the MLS didn't used to have a button to filter that in or out.
Yeah.
And now, in the past, like a year, maybe, they've added that in.
Somewhere in there.
So it's obviously become more of a demand for people in multi-generational living, like to have the ability to search for a home based on that. So,
I
things
think
are
you'll-
changing.
Yeah, you'll definitely see more multi-generational homes coming out in the years. The next 10 years, it'll increase quite a bit.
And that makes sense based on, like, if you look at older cities and older anywhere, like I feel like in Europe and stuff, like, where there's there's no more land to build. Like everybody's having to come
it's
up
tighter.
with, multi-generational family homes. And it's like, I just saw something where like the average Florida house price, and this must be because Miami and Tampa and some like super expensive areas are
Yeah,
throwing
what
off
is
the
it?
mean, but they said 400,000 was the
God.
mean price, which seemed way high. But is
For
that
what?
for like the average Florida home price?
Oh,
Like,
no, that's right.
Single
that
family
doesn't
home.
that does not surprise
I
us
guess
at
it's in
all.
the low 400s.
Okay, yeah,
What's
it was
your
low 400.
what's your low end hunk of crap now, or is there such a thing?
Under three.
Under
Under
350.
350.
So you go and you see an under 350, and you're like, yikes.
You're not under 350, but
It depends on where you are, because if you're closer to the center of Orlando and you're trying to get something for $300,000, it's going to be, either smaller or
Need some help.
in a rough neighborhood, need a lot of work or
Yeah.
whatever. The further out you go, that you can get
Yeah, you go down to
more
Bartow.
for your money.
Yeah, you can drive down to Bartow for $300,000 and get a pretty nice house. But
Yeah, it just depends on where you are.
I feel like you should own that.
around here,
Bartow.
Barked.
Bartow.
but like I was looking in here yesterday. We were looking at Baldwin Park, just what's for sale in there. Starting prices are at $600,000 just for the
Oh man,
the beginner.
I want to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
the median in here is now like 8-9.
I want to
Well,
go
you're-
back to. I want to go straight back to Deltona Xbox murder. That's what I want.
So far away, though.
I'm going back to my roots. Right back to old Orange City. Here I come.
For
Listen, in Orange City, you're going to spend $350,000, $400,000.
Well, where's the dump? I want to go to the dump.
to actually
Where's
buy
the
the dump.
trashiest? What's the trashiest place I could go to?
Deltona.
Deltona?
No, well, I feel like there's some.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Is Deltona the?
Well, it's just that, what I hear from everybody and what I experienced living there is that there's no sense of community there at all. It's just an endless neighborhood.
Oh, I like that.
You get into the neighborhood and it or like the whole city is one giant neighborhood. And
I don't
like,
need your community.
Every now and then there's a Publix, but that's like it. Or a little bit like a pizza shop.
Yeah, it's like we're all living here alone.
Yes.
And together.
Right.
At the same time.
And unlike other cities and towns where, like, how there's like a bad part of town, Deltona's like, we're going to take the bad part of town and we're sprinkle it out throughout the whole
Yes.
So you never really know.
Yeah.
So it's like randomly.
Great. for
Right, no, because
everybody.
there's actually some really nice areas. They have like a lot of like waterfront property out there, and you could get like bigger land out there. So if you have specific needs, you can find something nice out there for
what
a
I'm
decent
looking
price.
for.
Yeah, but across the street, Miami
You
Joker.
never know. You never know what's going to be.
I love Miami Joker.
He's out there yelling about GTA
Yeah, he still
5.
does it. He still
and
does
you're
it.
like, God,
He still does every time, and it's been months.
You're
He'll
like,
look into the camera. And he
this
goes,
is a good part of
he goes,
Deltona.
"Hey, GTA, we need to talk." I'm like, "Hey, he's at it again." I cheer for
That's all
him,
he's got, right?
and he'll always talk back to me. I go, "What's up, Miami Joker?" He's like, "Tom and Dad."
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Oh,
but that's
Miami!
cool.
You don't know the guy with the face tattoos who's
No.
trying to
Oh,
sue
yeah.
GTA because
No.
they used a guy that sort of looks like him in the video game?
That's outside of your algorithm. We'll move on.
I want a long commute.
What
No, okay, then you need to go to Deltona because
What
here's the
about Ocala? Like out in the middle of
Ocala?
nowhere.
What about Al Cowley, OJ's friend, who was driving the Bronco?
I don't think Bart and I specialize in Ocala, but I have heard that Ocala is
We did one out there
pricey.
at the beginning of the year. Our Big Gabe. He was Ocala.
Big gay?
Oh, okay, yeah.
A big gay Ocala?
You know what, no?
I know that cowboy.
I never went to that house though, but yes,
There's the more rural you get, the cheaper you get. But I will tell you, between Orlando and like Ocala, the villages in that area, you do get some really nice homes out there. Like they have some. We sold it. Was it 700,000?
yeah, it was like over 7, and it had like a really nice piece of land, and it was.
Yes,
really
we had a
nice.
client. He bought, I don't know what it was, 2 acres ish or so on a huge house, pool in the backyard, fence.
Like really nicely done too.
I think it was like 7 and change. out there.
Okay, and that'd be absurd. Like a $700,000 house in Winter Park. Now we were talking back to
It would be like a 4.2, 1,800 square feet.
Yeah.
yeah,
it's tiny.
On
There's
like
a-
a tenth of an acre.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow.
there are like deals that still exist. Although I remember when like as you went west, right, and you get into like Plant City and Polk County and stuff like that. It was like
south.
south. Like, well, I mean towards Tampa.
How dare you correct him on his own show? You know?
No, he needs it.
Play the song.
Play the gay song for Bart.
West is Claremont, but all right.
I don't know directions.
Don't blame me for my stupidity.
I'm just saying, like, it used to be like, oh, as you get further away, the houses get cheaper. But now it's like Tampa. Now you're getting closer to Tampa.
Oh, that's-
and then it's like, oh, well.
Yeah, they're like converging.
You went too far, and now like people from Tampa are moving, and it's like becoming a singularity.
Oh, it's
where,
gonna be a fight.
Where there's like
Who's trashier, Tampa or Orlando? I think Tampa, and I think we all know that.
yeah, it is.
I think we all know that.
But they're
Tampa is
pushing closer to us, and
Why?
we're pushing to them. And it's
Tampa's trashier.
Yeah, I grew up in Sarasota, Tampa.
Absolutely. Tampa is the city embodiment of Bubba the Love Sponge. It's coming to get you.
We're going to talk about that on the
yeah,
medium
we are.
show.
We're going to talk about that on the medium show.
But it almost is becoming where there's really not that anywhere in Florida that's really, really cheap anymore.
No.
You know?
But something that Bart and I have been seeing is that the prices are starting to come down.
Yes.
So
Okay.
we have listings that for the first time in either of our real estate careers, and he's been doing it a lot longer than me, the prices are kind of steadily dropping. We're doing price drops on our listings because
And we're seeing that pretty consistently with everybody.
Everywhere.
And
It's not just-
yeah.
Interesting.
And it's homes, condos, everything.
Is that a sign that the
this a good
inevitable the interest rate dropping or like because that
Well,
was
that's a sign just stuff's too expensive. You know, I mean, we have a listing, what I would call a starter home over in College Park. It's 3-bedroom, 1 bath, and 1,500 square feet. These kind of homes are traditionally what a late 20s, early 30s couple would come and buy to start off, right?
yeah a starter house.
So this house is for sale for $325. We'll probably sell it somewhere between $310 and $320, somewhere in that ballpark. So if somebody got a $300,000 mortgage on that, the payment there with taxes and insurance is going to be somewhere in the ballpark of $2,700 to $2,900 a month. So you think about trying to be starting out paying close to $3,000 a month on a property. It's just tough. It's expensive.
Yeah.
And
that's
now,
if you get
now
reasonable
it's your
insurance.
it's your property.
Yeah, you gotta
so
maintain
you
it.
have to maintain it. Where you could rent something for $2,200 and not have to maintain anything. And no, you're not paying yourself. Like I always think a mortgage is so much better because you're paying yourself back instead of paying somebody else. But at the end of the day, it's your dollars. Can you afford the extra $800 a month?
By example, I bought my first condo when I was late 20s, and it was $310,000. And my payment was something like $1,500 a month. And now that same thing has turned into $2,600, $2,700, $2,800 a month.
Bless it. That is a lot of money.
I do find myself, me and Crystal, doing the old person thing that my grandfather used to do when he complained that he was like, I remember when cigarettes were 25 cents a pack and then went to 30 cents and quit. And then I'm like, all right, Pop, we're talking about World War II.
I gambled one time on every team. I never did it again.
Yeah. We're in the 2000s now. But now I'm doing it. Like, remember when we paid, what was our Heroin Alley house for rent? It was like 3-1.
$675.
The $675 for a 3-1.
My first house
backyard.
the first house I bought in Deltona for $89,000. The
Yeah.
nut each month was $690.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I paid
Mortgage.
$690 for a 1,500 square foot 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, with a big yard back and front.
And you were getting paid less, but like even back then in radio,
not that much.
But yeah, you're still making like $50,000 a year or something.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe a little less than that, but yeah, and it was doable.
But where your rents or your mortgage is $680, then it's like, oh, I'm rich.
Totally doable. Yeah.
You know something Crystal and I are seeing this year we'd never seen before is people leaving Florida. Floridians that are packing up and getting out and going.
We got some
else.
of that in the chat room. There's some frustration in the chat room right now with housing prices and being priced out. I get it.
I think
it's sad, too.
all of our all but 2 of our sellers this year in 2024 have left the state.
Wow.
Yeah,
and they're going to cheaper places.
Yeah, they're going to Michigan, Indiana, Kentucky. You know, it's not New York and L.A.
One of those people, celebrity client Jelly Roll. Just want to put that out
because
there.
you start doing the math in your head, you're like, wait a minute. I like living in Florida near the beach, but I go to the beach 2 times, 3 times a year, maybe.
That's exactly what Jelly Roll said.
And then you're like,
he's a bigger man.
So most of the time, I'm around the area of my house. I'm going to the grocery store. I'm going to the movies. I'm doing my thing or whatever. So it's like, well, what am I living in this super expensive place? I could save thousands a month by moving and living the similar quality of life and for thousands less.
A lot of people can work remotely now too, or their job is transferable, So it's just like easier for them to leave.
Well, it's like our friends that live in Miami. I'm like, well, if you don't own a boat, why are you paying to live, 20 minutes from Biscayne Bay? You're paying, the tax to live there. If you're just living in your community, in a normal suburb, I think people are doing that math. And they're like, oh, if I'm just going to live in a suburb, why don't I live with more money?
But you know what? All our friends live close to each other.
Well, now you're bringing emotion into it.
He doesn't like that.
You can't bring emotion into life.
Oh, wow. That sounds like me.
I see them all, like, all the kids are growing up together, and, it's pretty nice to have that.
Well, we can all move to Tennessee like Steve-O.
Yeah, we can start a compound.
Yeah, he lives in a compound. But then we're going to
end up, there's going to be some infidelity is going to break the entire thing apart because I'm going to have sex with somebody.
It's the Bart Merritt team, BartTheRealtor.com. You can go onto the website and get Bart and Crystal's cell phone number, text them or call them at any time if you're looking to buy or sell a house. They got tremendous amount of experience, and that's what you need with a realtor. You use an inexperienced realtor, you are going to cost yourself lots of money, and that's the truth.
That's pretty damn good.
That is the truth.
Yeah,
and time.
Solid.
Yeah.
You did a good job on that.
Bart, Crystal, thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
It's always a pleasure seeing you guys.
And
Charles Ruttenberg.
That is our broker, and we are supposed to mention that.
Yeah, the chat room reminded me.
Thank
the
you
chat
guys.
room was like, don't forget Ruttenberg.
Don't listen to the beginning.
They're holding it together for you.
The chat room? No, they don't make fun of me.
They hate us. They're like, stop it with the AI, Dan. You're having too much fun.
Yeah, all they want to do is
you not have to write a fart song every effing day of your life.
Don't forget to send me a text.
All right.
407-865-3863.
Okay. Come on. All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.